for 416.
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlotte with your Sactown Sports headlines. The NBA's Board of Governors approved 2 rule changes that will go into effect this season. Coaches will now get an extra challenge if their first challenge is correct. The other rule will be an attempt to curb flopping in games. There will now be a non-unsportsmanlike technical foul called on the offending player's team, and the opposing team will get a free throw. Possession will not change and can't be directly reviewed by a coach, but can be added to a call during a review of a different play. ESPN's Adam Schefter is reporting that the NFL and NFL Films have selected the New York Jets as this year's team for HBO's Hard Knocks. This is not the first time the Jets have been the Hard Knocks team. They first appeared on the show in 2010. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to Sactown Sports.
Welcome in, Sacramento. Ramie Makloff with you this afternoon. We got Jay on the ones and twos on the other side of the glass. Simone over there as well, trying to figure out her new iPhone. She'll get it figured out. I'm saying,
come get this Google or this Galaxy. I keep telling you, busters.
Jay, by Friday. I'm saying by Friday. Is he over under on with Simone?
Oh, I'm taking the definitely the over. It's definitely not gonna get. Apple got y'all paying y'all money. Don't even work, man.
No, it's gonna be really bad. Basically, what I have to do is I'm gonna be just uploading and offloading my old phone, my new phone. It's really bad, but everything has to be done manually.
But the show will come first. The show will come first, I'm sure, before the iPhone. And as I've been telling folks, rotating co-hosts in the other chair all week long, and it's a privilege, a pleasure, and an honor to welcome in the former King. You know him from game night, the high flyer, Henry Turner. Sir, how are you this afternoon?
Oh, man, I'm doing great. You know what? I'm not worried about iPhone or none of that. All I want them to do is keep rocking that Fat Boys, Can You Feel It? That's what I'm with. I'm with the Fat Boys. As soon as they put it on, I'm like, hey, there it is.
I've said this before, and I'll say it again. There might be a lot of shows out there that compete with us or whatever. We have the best music of any sports talk radio show that's out there, thanks to my man Jay.
I tell you
on
what,
the ones and twos.
Hey, we starting off right. Can You Feel It is a classic.
It's going to be a good afternoon. That's just the beginning.
That's
Henry
how we rock
Turner.
it.
That's just the beginning. I wanted to start off the show just kind of picking your brain. We haven't seen each other in a while.
Right.
I haven't heard you talk Kings in a while, and a lot has happened, or some people might say not a lot happened so far this offseason when you look at what the Kings have done. I think a lot of people, Henry, myself included, they thought that, or even just assumed, the Kings had a big swing in them this offseason when they freed up the cap space by trading Richaun Holmes and the first-round pick. They decided to use that money, though, to invest sort of in their own guys. Now, they did bring in Vezenkov, and they did trade for Duarte. But otherwise, that money went to extending Domas Sabonis, bringing back Harrison Barnes, bringing back Trey Lyles, even bringing back Alex Len. So that's sort of that's been the two sides of this thing. They could have taken a big swing, but they decided to go in the direction that they did. How do you feel? What's your overall takeaway from what the Kings have done so far this offseason?
Well, here's what you have to look at. You know, you have to look at exactly what the Sacramento Kings did. They came in third. I mean, they balled out. Camaraderie there. Everybody like each other there. Everybody cohesion on a string. It's there. So now, you know, the front office is in a situation to where, okay, do you go out and make a big splash? You know, we was hearing names like, you know, Bradley Beal, and we're hearing names like Kyle Kuzma, bringing some of these big-time players.
Draymond,
Lord, don't do that. Draymond Green, I'm glad he stayed at Golden State, and I like Dray, but he's perfect where he is. You know, names like Draymond Green. But what you have to think about is that, you know, chemistry is volatile, you know. It's one of those things to where you don't want to bring one of these players in and interrupt what you have going on already. I think that was one of the big reasons why they kept Harrison Barnes. It's a situation to where you look at it and you say, okay, can we make an upgrade from Harrison Barnes? Yeah, you probably could go out. You're going to spend a lot of money, but you're going to upgrade from Harrison Barnes. But it's a situation of, okay, is that guy going to fit in this system the same way Harrison fits in. And you say, we really don't want to make that type of swing. We keep Harrison because you know what he's giving you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what he's bringing. I think that was the biggest situation where all the Sacramento fans were like, okay, you move Harrison Barnes, you bring in somebody big. Well, you have to understand, Harrison Barnes understands the pecking order here in Sacramento. You know, it's De'Aaron, it's Sabonis, and then pretty much it's going to be Keegan Murray in that third spot.
Mm-hmm.
So Harrison Barnes was fine with where he's at. Do you think Bradley Beal's going to come in and say, well, I'm fine at the 2 or the 3 when he's been an alpha his whole career?
Right.
You know, you have to put all of those things in perspective before you go out and make that big splash.
You know, my thing when they first re-signed Harrison Barnes, I'm not gonna lie, I won't say disappointed, but I just thought maybe there was a big splash move that was going to happen. That was a couple days before free agency opened up. But once free agency opened up, Henry, and I saw the price that some of these guys were going for,
Ooh-wee.
I kept asking myself, okay, would I rather have player X at that price?
Right.
Or would I rather have Harrison Barnes at this price? And almost every time, my answer turned out to be Harrison Barnes.
Because you know what you're getting out of Harrison Barnes,
Right.
number one. And then you have to look at it on a business type. See, a lot of people don't look at that. At the business side of it, you have to pay Sabonis.
Yes.
You have to give him his money. So, yeah, you look and say, okay, well, we could have upgraded at the Harrison Barnes spot, but we got to re-sign Sabonis. You're going to re-sign Harrison Barnes, and it's, you know, you're going to look at Keegan Murray at some time. I mean, I know he's come off rookie contract, but he's going to be up after a while. You just paid De'Aaron Fox.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have to look at it from the business aspect of it. And I'm fine with keeping Harrison Barnes. I'm thinking more so now, okay, you keep Harrison Barnes. Maybe you slide Keegan Murray at that 3. You slide Sasha in at that 4 or the 5, and you still have Sabonis. Because no one's talking about what Sasha's going to bring.
Right. Yeah, and I did want to ask you about Sasha because you bring a unique perspective with your experience playing overseas.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to ask you about that in a minute. But when the one move, just real quick before we move on to Sasha Vezenkov on what they did in free agency and et cetera, the one move that I looked at, like I said, almost every other move I said, I'll take Harrison Barnes at this price over that player at that price. The John Collins move, the trade to Utah, where they really didn't give up much to get him. It was a move to unload some salary by Atlanta, and then he ended up signing a 3-year extension at $25 per year. That's more than Harrison Barnes got, but that's the one guy that I look at and I go, that I'll take that guy at that price over Harrison Barnes. Would you agree or not?
I tell you what, for what I think the Kings have and what I think the Kings need, yeah, I would have did that. You know, but the one ace in the hole, because we look at what the Kings' shortcomings were. I think it was size, I think it was rebounding, and I think it was points in the paint. John Collins checks off every last one of those one of those boxes.
Yes.
Okay. But when you look at what Sasha is going to bring, he's a 7-footer. All right. He's a big guy. He's down in there. So the Kings know that they have an ace in the hole with that guy. So now you look at John Collins and say, well, do we want to go with John Collins? Because we know Sasha might be able to produce, might not give you John Collins numbers right off the bat, but he's capable of being solid at that position. And now you're still able to be solid with Harrison Barnes at the 3, maybe over at the 4 some. And I honestly think the way Keegan Murray is coming along, Keegan Murray is going to be a 3.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. There was the debate 3 or 4 when he was coming up. Honestly, the game is so positionless now.
True. And the way Kings run their offense.
Right. Exactly. I don't know how much it matters if he's a 3 or 4.
It doesn't.
Quite frankly, it sounds like I'm picking up the vibe that you're a big believer in Sasha Vezenkov, and that he can come over here and succeed on some level.
In today's game, I think he can be very successful. You know, he's a big guy who can stretch the floor. He can knock down a 3. That's what the NBA is all about. Big guys who can shoot. We're not talking about Victor Wembanyama. Okay. Big guys, step out, shoot. He can pass the ball. He has a nice basketball IQ. Basketball IQ goes a long way with me. I mean, I look more so into how you think the game more so than how you play the game. It's called the game within the game. You know, I always say that when you start talking about Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. Magic Johnson had everything that it took to be a superstar: athletic, strong, run, jump, dunk. Larry Bird, he had some of the no-nos. He wasn't that strong. He wasn't that fast. He wasn't the strongest guy, and he couldn't jump. But what made Larry Bird so good in this league? That basketball IQ will take you to a whole nother level.
Yeah, he almost knew where guys were going to be before they got there.
It's the game within the game. He plays the game 3 plays ahead.
The one thing I do wonder, and I think a lot of Kings are wondering about right now, is where is the improvement in going to come on the defensive side of things? Because that's where there's the most room for improvement. You know what I mean? This is one of the best offensive teams in all of basketball last year. How are they going to get better on defense?
Here's where my old school NBA comes out.
Okay.
Defense, how much talent does it take to play defense?
Oh, I didn't play nearly at the level that you did.
But I'm saying,
Henry, I played playground basketball,
right.
But I've always said that defense and rebounding is want to. It's
defense and rebounding is what you have pumping through your veins.
Yes.
How much heart you have. Almost every defensive player of the year, he's not the most talented guy on the floor. He's the guy that's willing to go out there and do all the dirty work, willing to put his body out on the floor and really sacrifice himself to get the job done. Okay, we just talked about Draymond Green. Draymond Green is not the poster boy of talent.
Right.
But I'll tell you what, his heart and his will to win, that's what makes him so special.
What's going to be, just one more before the break, and then I want to talk some summer league with you. What's going to be the biggest adjustment for Sasha Vezenkov from the European game? Because you played all over Europe. I don't even remember. I
touched a lot. I touched a lot of ground.
A lot of ground. What is the major difference from the European game to the American game? You hear the American game is more physical. Is that true?
It's more physical. When you start playing in the NBA, because when you're in Europe, you have maybe 1 or 2 freaks on the team, all right, that can, pretty much do whatever they want to out there with the basketball. But when you get to the NBA, everybody's a freak. I mean, even when you go down to that 9th, 10th player, they were the man in college. So everybody can straight out play. I think for him, just the spreading of the floor, because they play a lot of zone. Overseas, a lot of zone. So depending upon what type of defense they played in Olympiacos while he was playing, I think the stretching of the floor is going to be huge for him. I think the pace in which the Sacramento Kings play might be something that's going to catch him off. I'm not saying he can't play that type of style, but I think it's going to be a situation to where he's really going to have to get acclimated into going up and down the way the Sacramento Kings do.
That's the high flyer, Henry Turner, in the co-host chair for the day. Feel free to chime in on the show. Text 916-339-1140. Give us a call, 800-920-1140. You can always comment on the YouTube page, youtube.com/Sactown Sports. While you're there, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Henry said before we started the show, did not know he was going to be on camera. Would have worn his nice clothes.
That suit on there, HT.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have came with a suit, but at least I'd have had the shirt with some creases in it.
I told him, no, this is a shorts and T-shirt operation, man. You're going to make the rest of us look bad. You can't make the rest of us look bad.
You know what, though, Rob? You asked me the question, how are the Kings going to change the defense?
Defensively.
I will say the only way I see them changing, and I think it's going to work, Mike Brown is going to make them change. He's going to hold them accountable. He started out a little bit at the beginning. Man, Mike Brown called some of the fastest first timeouts I've ever seen. I think we went 16 seconds.
Yep.
And he called a timeout. He's going to hold guys accountable, and I think Mike Brown is going to make those guys better. He knows what he has on the offensive side now. He's won a whole year, and he knows that defense got to get better. I think you're going to see Mike Brown do a lot more defensively now than offensively.
I always got a kick out of those quick timeouts.
Me too.
It was like, ooh, somebody's in trouble. Like, when you're in school and somebody gets called to the principal's office, everybody goes, ooh,
you know
somebody's in trouble when Mike Brown called one of those quick timeouts.
And I was calling it out because I knew exactly who was going to be in trouble. Get him, Mike. Get him, Mike. He didn't slip the screen. Get him, Mike.
That's Henry Turner. He's in for the day. Lots of Kings talk, lots of basketball talk on the docket, including Jason Ross, live from the Las Vegas Summer League. He'll be here at 3:15. And speaking of that Summer League, Kings, they didn't get the win, but they looked a little better last night. We'll talk about it next.
Did you know about 1/3 of our lives is spent sleeping? Hi, this is Franklin Rosen with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. If we're going to spend that much time in our bedrooms, then our bedrooms ought to reflect our personalities. I remember many weekend mornings when our kids would jump into our beds trying to coax us to start our days more on their schedules than ours. Naturewood Home Furnishings' huge bedroom sale is here, and there's no better time to find the perfect accent piece for your bedroom, or even better, to start fresh by designing your bedroom to fit your lifestyle. From a new mattress and foundation to dressers to nightstands to lamps and more. Naturewood Home Furnishings will help you create a space from simple to luxurious and anything in between. Just drop by and let Naturewood's team help you envision a bedroom fit for 1/3 of your life. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable bedroom sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water reel.
The Kings are running it back.
Hammers it off the dribble against Gobert, and he was fouled. Oh my, what a take that time by Sabonis, and leads Gobert. That's strong. Two-hand flush off the dribble, thrown down by Trey Lyles.
And welcoming some new faces.
Yes. Toby Jones with 2 more.
Now they go to Duarte in the corner for 3, and he rains it down.
Keep it locked on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for the latest Kings news. The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
Ramie Mackloff with you as I am every afternoon, rotating co-host all week. Kenny Thomas in the co-host chair tomorrow. Another former King, Henry Turner, in the co-host chair for this afternoon. Jay on the other side of the glass on those 1s and 2s. Simone on the updates. And I've been saying throughout the Summer League, Henry, and I had a feeling this was going to be the case once they said we're shutting down Keegan Murray after the California Classic.
Oh, I knew that was happening.
I was like, man, this might be a tough watch. These Kings might be a tough watch as far from an entertainment standpoint here in the Summer League. And they were the first 2 games. I told Jay this. He couldn't believe it. They had 2 points in the first 5 minutes of both the first and second quarters a couple nights ago. They had 25 points at halftime. I mean, they don't have anybody out there to really score the ball consistently, or at least not enough guys to score the ball consistently. And from what we got used to in the regular season of the 3rd seed, one of the highest scoring offenses in the league, 48 wins, to go from that to what we've seen in the Summer League has been a little bit tough to watch at times.
Okay, here's what happened. You have to rewind.
Okay.
The first 2 games, California Classic.
Yes.
Keegan Murray is on that roster.
And that's the other thing. Is like you got a taste of that's pretty fun.
And the Sacramento Kings is like this. Keegan, you're the alpha. This is your team. You go out and you play. You do whatever it is that you do. We want to see everything that you worked on this summer. What else you got in your bag? And Keegan came out and he was the number 1 guy. See, that's the thing. When you have a basketball team and everybody sees that, okay, Keegan, he's the number 1 option on this team now, all right? And he came out and he did a hell of a job. I mean, he played his butt off. I love what he did in Sacramento. And the Kings are like, okay, we're saying we're going to shut you down now because we know what you can do. We just wanted for you to get some confidence. The California Classic was for Keegan to get his confidence. That's what those games were about.
Right.
Now, Summer League, you're looking at the other guys. But the other guys have played 2 games with, okay, well, I'm not the guy. Are you
Keegan.
the guy?
Right,
yeah. Well, he's not the guy. Is he the guy? So now you don't know who's the alpha on the squad. And then when you get guys to try to be that guy, everybody can't be a Batman. Somebody has to be a Robin.
Right. And it was a much more entertaining game last night. They didn't come home with the win, but 107-99, you almost hit that 100 threshold. You talk about the alpha and the number 1 guy in the Summer League so far. And we're going to talk much more about this guy later in the show, but Jordan Ford got it going early. He had 17 points in the first half. He finished with 25. Mike Daum, who I hadn't seen at all. I think he got the playing time because Nemi is injured and not playing. He hit 5 of 9 from deep, finished with 22 points. I don't know where they found that guy or where he came from, but solid night for the kid. And then you had Keon Ellis, 19 points on 7 of 9 from the field, grabbed 7 rebounds as well.
Let me tell you, if it's 2 guys that's making the most out of their Summer League presence, it's number 1, Jordan Ford, I've been knowing Jordan basically all his life. My son played on the high school team with him and Folsom.
really?
Everything. Yeah, I've been knowing Jordan for quite some time. And he's been doing the exact same thing, man. That a young man works hard. He's very in tune to his craft. He knows what he does well. He doesn't really try to get out of character. Very crafty kid. The thing about it with Jordan is that if Jordan was 6'5", he would be in this league solidified big time because he knows how to play the game. Once again, basketball IQ. He's a very smart young man. And then the big fella, Mike. Mike comes in, and when you're a big fella that can step behind that line and let it go, this is what the league is all about.
Yeah, man. Everybody's looking for one of those.
You spread that floor all the way around, and you pick and you pop, and when you catch, you let it go. And he's showing that he can knock down a shot. Keon Ellis, I expect that from Keon. Keon has been in the league for a while. He's kind of like a veteran on that team. A guy that has been there and done that. The one guy that's really shocked me by his play and how he's playing is Kessler Edwards.
I was going to ask you about him.
I really thought Kessler Edwards would have a breakout summer league. I thought that once Keegan Murray shut it down, KE was going to be the alpha.
And he only had 9 points last night. Just has not seemed to find his footing in the summer league so far. He
doesn't seem comfortable to me. He's turning the basketball over. I think more so because I talked to him in the California Classic. We had a conversation, me, him, and his agent, Bill Duffy. Bill Duffy was my agent back in the day, so it's just kind of like a family type thing. But we were all talking in the huddle, and I was like, Bill, he's going a little bit too fast. For a player that has played a full year in the league, this should be slow to you. You ought to be more methodical and say, okay, you know what you're doing out there. It almost seems like he predetermines what he's going to do. He got a rebound one time, got the rebound. As soon as he got that rebound, I looked in his face. I'm like, he's shooting this basketball. Took off, came down court, pulled up and shot. I'm like, young fella, that's not it. You have to play the game. You have to let the game come to you. You can't predetermine what's going to happen on the defensive side. You have to take what the defense gives you.
Like I said, Nimi didn't play last night. Jason Anderson updated us on his injury status just after we got off the air last night. Said according to the league source, Neemias Keita with right foot. By the way, I know I'm saying his name wrong. I want to say it right. It's one of those names that when you're trying to say it, it just comes out of your mouth wrong. Right foot sort is obviously he did not play last night and has been ruled out for the remainder of the Las Vegas Summer League. They said no fractures. It was a stress reaction in his foot. No fractures. I mean, a game and a half, but I liked what I was seeing from Nimi in the summer league so far in terms of the physicality and the aggressiveness that he was bringing to the table.
I like what I see out of Nimi in the Classic. I like what I saw out of him in the G League. The one question that stands that really, comes to mind is first, you're a big guy. And when big guys start having knee problems, they start having ankle problems, problems with the feet. That rings a huge bell because they don't bounce back from injuries of sort like that, like a guard or a small forward. When big fellas start having problems like that, you have to really start wondering, okay, is it ever going to be back to where it was?
Yeah, you do have to wonder that. And if it's not going to be him, they still have a void at the backup center position when this season tips off, Henry. And that's one of the moves that I think a lot of Kings fans were hoping to see this offseason, and they so far have not gone outside the organization to get that backup, the physical backup center.
Right. I think that Lynn did himself very much a favor at the end of the year last year, the way he came in and played. He's always been a physical guy. He's not going to take no crap down there. That's what I like about the guy. He's not going to run. You're not going to punk him down in the middle. But the thing about it is that he really doesn't give you a lot on the offensive side. He's a straight pick and rim run type guy. You get no pop out of him. It's not going to happen. He doesn't have anything from the free throw line out. Yeah, it's not going to happen. But at the end of the day, you use him as far as for really protecting the rim, protecting the middle, and rebounding. That's where the Kings really got beat by the Golden State Warriors. You can call it whatever you want. The Kings had no problem scoring the basketball. They had no problem getting up and down. The only problem they had is when Looney was grabbing 20 rebounds every game that they lost, and they was giving Jordan Poole, Steph Curry, and Klay Thompson 10 extra shots, and we were only losing by two possessions.
I was calling him Wilt Looney throughout the series. He was literally doing Wilt Chamberlain things throughout that series. It was driving me nuts.
The situation was this, Ramie. Even if you don't have a Herculean type game, Sabonis didn't have Herculean type games. Even if you don't have that, you can't let him come in and get 20 rebounds. I'll tell you what, I would have been all over Looney like a cheap suit. I'm not getting the rebound, but you ain't getting it either, brother.
Getting it either.
That's right.
If it's not going to be mine, it's not going to be anybody.
You know what? One of the guards will grab it.
We got to get to a quick break. On the other side, you a baseball guy at all, Henry? Did you check out the Summer Classic last night?
I didn't check it out, but I play a little baseball.
Okay.
You know, used to pitch a little bit, play a little first base.
Okay, all right. Yeah, you're a first baseman for sure. That height over there.
Oh, yeah.
So you're gonna snag it all up. Can't overthrow the first baseman when Henry's over there.
And plus, I got a 44-inch vertical, so I'm gonna go up and get it.
There you go. Can't overthrow the first baseman when this man's over there. But I thought another good night for baseball. We talked about the home run derby yesterday. Another good night for baseball in the All-Star game. We'll talk about that coming up next.
Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Sinking, that's going to get down for a hit. Around third to score is Tony Kemp. And the A's have taken the lead. Edge of the track makes the catch. And the Athletics get a great win.
Sactown Sports, your weekend home for the Oakland A's.
Sactown Sports coverage of the Oakland A's is brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters, right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with zero down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
Zero down with approved credit.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sep Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is, live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sep Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sep's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sactown Sports 1140.
Y'all ready to do it again, Sacramento? Country in the Park 2 is coming to Heart Health Park at Cal Expo Saturday, September 9th with Cole Swindell, Chris Jansen, Dylan Scott, and more. Plus, a mechanical bull, line dancing saloon, and all the food. Tickets start at $40 or grab your Coors Light Y'all Access passes for $125. For more info, visit SactownSports.com. Country in the Park 2, brought to you by Hoblet Dodge, E2 Family Winery, and Hyatt Vacation Club.
Hey kids, it's Carmichael Dave from my good friends at Fire Wings, the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. A great place to enjoy all the ball games from all around the country with 21 delicious flavors to choose from. Bone in, bone out. For more convenience, order online. Go to firewings.com, find a location near you, grab that order online and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you. Fire Wings, hey, just wing it.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines. I'm Simone with your Sactown Sports headlines. Summer League continues to smolder in Las Vegas. However, Sacramento Kings stumble again, falling to the Chicago Bulls 107-99 last night. Despite the L, Sacramento native point guard Jordan Ford put on a show, racking up 25 points and 8 assists Tuesday. The Summer League Kings are back in action tomorrow. The critically acclaimed HBO docuseries Hard Knocks is heading to the Big Apple this summer, as the NFL has selected the New York Jets as the subject for the upcoming season. The new look Green Gang will report to training camp on July 19th, with cameras up starting day one. And after 9 straight losses to the American League, the National League finally back in the win column last night for the 93rd Midsummer Classic.
Swings and misses. Kimball slams the door. The National League's finally back on top. Its first All-Star game win since 2012.
I'm Simone. Now back to Sactown Sports.
Mac off with you every afternoon. The high flyer, Henry Turner, sitting in the co-host chair. I told you about Jay on the ones and twos.
We going to turn it up in here. I'm about to get my C-walk on in a second. Short but funky. Man, East Side.
Jay will bring that out for you, too, I'm sure, in a minute. Last night, MLB's All-Star game, and Jay, how long had it been since the National League had won? Is it 9 years since the National League
9 seasons
had won an All-Star game? And it looked like it was going to be another American League win yesterday.
Let them off the hook.
It was 2-0 after 7 innings, and then an unlikely hero, Elias Diaz of the Rockies, stepped to the plate.
Not going 2-2 to Diaz. Is hit in the air to deep left field. Back it goes. Elias Diaz puts the National League in front. At 32 years old in his All-Star debut, a go-ahead home run.
That's a cool story, man. 32 years old, getting his first All-Star game, representing the Rockies. And you know, in baseball, they have the rule, Henry, that every team gets a representative. Mm-hmm. And some people might look at Elias Diaz and say that he was sort of the default All-Star for the Rockies.
Right.
But you look at his numbers, he's putting up a hell of a season at 32. And to get your first taste of the All-Star game at that stage, at that age in your career, cool, come through in that moment and bring home the MVP, that is a very cool moment.
Now, you know what? I don't watch the All-Star game the same way I do like the NBA All-Star game, but is it a situation to where, you know, do they do the same thing? Because the NBA All-Star game is like you watch the glorified pickup game.
That's what I said
for the first 3 quarters.
I said this yesterday about Major League Baseball's All-Star game. It's my favorite of all the All-Star games because of that.
They're serious. They want to win.
They're competing,
right?
And it's the game that you turn on throughout the season. It's that same game being played by the best players in the world. So that's what I love about the Major League Baseball All-Star game. And that was on full display last night. You got a little bit of everything. You got some home runs. You got a little bit of runs scored. You had some great pitching throughout that game. You had some great athletic defensive. The game started with 2 great catches in the outfield to start the night. And then you get the home run in the 8th inning. Julio Rodriguez, who's the Seattle Mariners up-and-coming star.
Okay.
He got to the plate. He got walked, but he got to the plate with the chance to win it in the 9th inning. And that stadium was absolutely electric when he walked up to that plate.
That's what you want to see. You talk about the best of the best. Yeah. You want to see those guys really competing. Now, you know, like in the NBA, they really compete that 4th quarter. Yes. You see guys going at each other. That's when it becomes the serious All-Star game. But when you see guys come out and they give you their best from the beginning because it's serious to us, we try to win, that's what makes it exciting.
I don't know how the National League goes 9 years without winning an All-Star game.
Wow.
Man. Because I don't get the impression or this. I watch baseball. I know the sport. I don't look at it and go, man, the American League just so much more talented.
It's so much
than the
dominant.
National.
Right.
It's so weird and quirky and random that the National League hadn't won one in 9 years, and the fact that they finally break the streak is. I don't know. I don't even know if it means anything, Henry. But they certainly seemed they were pretty excited about it afterwards. It seemed pretty jacked that they broke this streak.
Let me tell you something. When you are on the losing end of a streak
like that,
I mean, I'm not going to bring it up. I'm not going to bring up the 16 years. But when you're on a losing streak like that for that long, yes, you take it serious. And when you break it, you're very much excited.
You know, that's a good point because when the Kings clinched that playoff spot, people were losing their minds. And Mike Brown had to remind people, like, this is not what I came here. Like, this is not the be-all, end-all. This is not what I came here for. There are bigger things to do and to achieve here.
You know the funny part about that? I mean, and like I said, Mike Brown haven't lived this, all right? I have been broadcasting for the Sacramento Kings for the last 15, 16 years, and I've lived it. And, you know, and I'm very impartial, man. I mean, I've seen some of the best moves out there. I don't jump up. I don't get excited. But I tell you what, when we clinched the playoffs, I jumped up out my seat. I slammed my hat down. I did a little jigabug. I was happy. I was excited. And I understand where Coach Brown is at.
Right.
Coach Brown's like, I make playoffs every year. You know, this is what I'm trying to do. But, bro, we are happy. It's 16 years straight.
Yeah.
Let's celebrate.
Yeah, I don't know how much about my back. I got here a little over a year ago, and I told people, like, I can't put myself in your shoes. Like, I don't have that sports trauma that you have as Kings fans and folks who have been following this team.
You know, the funny part is that, you know, some of the other players didn't feel it, but you should have seen the look on De'Aaron Fox's face. De'Aaron Fox was like, "Oh Lord, thank you."
But going back to that game last night, Jay, I know you watched it. I thought it was a great display for Major League Baseball, and along with the home run derby. Really, really successful All-Star. It's not weekend. I don't know why they don't do it.
It is, man. No, we
really
saying weekend for them. It's a weekend for them.
I guess it's their day off.
Absolutely.
I thought it was, like I said, a little bit of everything. I don't know about you, Jay. I was hoping for this game to be tied after 9 innings. And
you just want chaos, man. don't make baseball have to make the All-Star game count again. We don't want that.
You're a drama queen.
Yeah, that's not what it is.
Because they just put in that new rule for the All-Star game. That
extra innings.
It's a home run derby tiebreaker. They take 3 guys.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They each get 3 swings. And whoever has the most home runs, that's who wins the All-Star game.
Who are you sending up if you are if you're the AL or the NL?
That's a great question.
Shohei's got to be one, right?
Shohei's got to be one.
You probably go Vladimir Guerrero.
Yeah, because Shohei
just won.
Shohei knocking everything out the park. And
he
taking
it deep, long distance.
And maybe a Rosarena? No,
nah. I don't know. I'd probably go Luis Robert. Well, he didn't play.
Yeah,
so
he was sitting out.
Couldn't go him.
I don't know. Yeah, I think I'm going to Rosarena. I think those are my 3 right there.
Shohei, Rosarena, Vladimir for the AL.
And Vlad Jr., yeah. Okay. And then in the National League, you got Acuna's got to be up there.
Yeah, Ronald Acuna for sure.
Mookie, he's not a home run derby guy. We talked about it yesterday. He's just not built for it.
Not my guy.
Okay. Arenado, maybe. National League is harder to.
Basically, what you're saying is the AL will win again.
No, Juan Soto. You know what?
Soto, I forgot Soto.
Yeah, they do. So I'd go Acuna, Soto, and probably Arenado would be my 3 guys.
Oh yeah, give me the AL. Give me the AL. That's why you didn't need it to go to the extra innings. I will say this though, we've talked about it all week. I think baseball is doing itself a favor in the fact that it's speeding the game up. Yep. They're including more stars.
No doubt.
You're seeing a younger influx of talent. You're seeing guys that you could kind of relate to. At least, you know, I've always said this when it comes to me and HT. I know you can attest to this playing all around the world. Sometimes when you look in the mirror and you see yourself unlike anyone else that's on the basketball court or the baseball field, you're starting to see a lot of that more. It started kind of influx back to the 80s and the 70s where you're seeing kind of a rainbow of different people. Mm-hmm. And I'm with that. I like to see that. I like to see all the different styles of baseball play. And I just like to see some of the young talent and young stars actually coming out, competing and getting it in. And with flair, too.
And when you talk about speeding the game up, it's in baseball, it's in basketball, it's in football. Same thing with football when they did the punt rule. It's all about speeding the game up and keeping people's attention more so than just saying, okay, well, I'm gonna relax on this play or whatever. It's all about the action at that time.
Yep. And the thing, Jay, that it's funny you mentioned that. The thing that jumped off the page to me, and this is certainly true about the NBA, I didn't realize last night they said the last 4 MVPs all overseas products in the NBA. I didn't
realize that either.
That didn't dawn on me until they said it last night in the Kings broadcast. But watching that game last night, the worldly talent that's playing the game and making the All-Star game, and the youth, like so many guys that are 25 and under that were playing in this All-Star game, and the new brand. We talked about this on Monday with FP Santangelo when he was here about how we all feel like the game is between the young talent, between the fun way that they play the game and the way the rules changes to speed up the game. We all felt like this sport is headed in a good direction for the first time in a long time. And I came across this today. It's paying off because average attendance across the league up over 8%. 77% of Major League Baseball clubs are seeing an increase in attendance. And this was the biggest stat to me because it's all about getting the younger audience, Henry. Median age of ticket buyers this season is 6 years younger than it was 4 years ago in 2019. So they're getting to younger audiences, which is what you need to do to succeed in the sports world.
You know why that is?
Why is that?
It's the internet and that cell phone.
Social network. What did I tell you yesterday?
You can reach so many more people. And you talk about going global. When I first was overseas, you couldn't hardly get NBA basketball. Now you got a smartphone. You can stream NBA basketball all you want. Same thing with baseball and football. The internet, man, has made everything just wide open. And who has a cell phone in their hands 90% of the time?
Children,
it's the
youngsters.
adolescents. They get to have a lot more information. So that's why it's happening.
And I'm glad. I want to see baseball thrive. I know Jay is a big baseball guy. He wants to see baseball thrive. We'd like to see it thrive in Oakland, but we'll get to that coming up at 3 o'clock here on the show.
I'm leaving, y'all. I'm leaving.
Right after this.
He did it.
We're going to play a little game we call Big Deal or No Big Deal.
Sactown Sports is your source for the 49ers.
Oh, it was awful. It was awful.
Did that leave a bitter taste in your mouth?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Me and Cal had a long meeting the other day. We watched tape. We talked about it. We put it behind us. And just going through the tape and just look how sluggish and like how bad it looked on tape. Like I said, just reflecting on last offseason, it kind of played a big role in that. And I never put nothing like that back on tape again.
Tune into Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for the latest 49ers offseason developments.
Summertime is a great time to get your home evaluated for solar. And while you're at it, make sure your roof is in good shape for all seasons. Hey, Jason Ross here to tell you about ACR Solar and Home Services. Go to acrsolar.com to find out all the different things that they can provide for you. And while we're all watching utility costs go up, along with everything else, why not make the most of the sunshine beating down on your roof? Harness that solar power and cut those rising utility bills while at the same time improving the value of your home. ACR Solar and Home Services makes it easy with a simple evaluation that'll show you just what it would take to get your home generating savings that help your bottom line and help protect the environment. So start now, and while you're there, ACR Solar and Home Services can make sure your roof is in prime condition. So just go to acrsolar.com and start your savings today. ACR Solar and Home Services, quality, value, and integrity since 1979.
Right now at Wendy's, when you buy either Dave's Single, Spicy Chicken Sandwich, Medium Frosty, or 10-piece nuggets, you can get another for just $1. Your dollar never tasted so good. So it's obvious what everyone will get, right?
Definitely nugs
Spicy
and
chicken
a Frosty.
sandwich,
Dave's Single and a Frosty for me.
and a Frosty. Okay, who said Frosty and a Frosty? Pick your obvious choice. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's, buy one, get one for $1.
Limited time only. Price of participation may vary. U.S. Wendy's valid for item of equal or lesser value. Cannot be combined in a combo or any other offer.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month. a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, Select Quote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. For your free quote, call Select Quote at 1-800-330-1991. That's 1-800-330-1991. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-330-1991. Select Quote. We shop, you save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Golf is the only sport where elite athletes can compete fairly against players with less talent when both give maximum effort. The handicap system takes into account the differences in skill levels, as well as the difficulty of the course to properly allocate handicap strokes to ensure as even a match as possible. Of course, it's dependent on the integrity of the players' posting scores, which has not changed since the first rudimentary attempts in the 17th century. Today, handicaps are given with a tenth of a stroke. In the 18th century, the golfer's manual described 4 handicap options. Third one stroke every 3 holes. Half one, a stroke every 2 holes. One more, a stroke a hole, and 2 more, 2 strokes a hole. There was plenty of pre-round negotiating before settling, with many matches being won or lost on the first tee before the first ball was struck. The term handicap did not enter golf lexicon until the 1870s. The term originates from a popular pub trading game known as hand in cap. Post your scores and keep a handicap. It keeps the playing field level. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
The Gold Rush Classic takes place July 13th and 14th in Rancho Murrieta. Come join the fun and play golf with a celebrity, or just check out the concert. The Gold Rush Classic, where the stars and guitars shine. For more info, go to goldrushclassic.org.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and I recognize, just like my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, that your time is important. And that's why shopping for a new air conditioner is now easier with American Energy Heat and Air's online quoting tool. All you have to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote right now. It'll help you determine what system you're going to need to get. It'll provide the best pricing options, all from the comfort of your home without having to have somebody come to your home. You know how annoying that is? They come in and everybody there is so sweet and nice, but how much better is it to be able to get it on demand? Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your needs are, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Yeah.
Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Sactown Sports.
We are your home for the 49ers, also your home for Kings basketball. And before every game, you hear this man, the high flyer, Henry Turner, on game night, who's sitting in the co-host chair with me, Ramie Makhlouf, this afternoon. We'll get into this AIDS situation. Mayor of Oakland showed up with receipts for the All-Star game.
Talk your talk, Mayor Tal.
We'll get to that coming up at 3 o'clock. And Henry was telling me during the break, grew up a big A's fan. So he might be screaming the way I was screaming about Stomper not getting sent to the All-Star game yesterday. That's coming up at 3 o'clock. But it's time now, Henry, for a little game we play every Wednesday right around this time. It's called Big Deal or No Big Deal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the game show Big Deal or No Deal. So Jay just throws a few things at us that are going on in the sports world, and he asks us, is this a big deal or is it no big deal?
All right, I'm with it.
Simple enough, right? Jay, what do we have on the game today?
Yeah, fellas, there are many different pieces of movement going on in the association. Okay. As you guys have your eyes on it always, every single day, every single week, every single hour, as we know you guys do your homework, do your research. That's right. Couple of new rules being installed by the league. We'll start with the first one, big deal or no deal, and Ramie, we'll kick it your way. We're going to talk a little bit about the coaches challenge. The coaches will now have a second challenge if they get the first challenge correct. Big deal or no deal there, Ramie?
I think this is a big deal, and it's always been very, very stupid to me that you would lose a challenge when you were right. You lose a challenge because a referee was wrong, and you had to point out, hey, you were wrong. Why would I lose a challenge for that? No, it's a big deal, and I think a very good big deal. Henry, that has never made sense to me.
I'm with you on that. I have to totally 150% agree.
So it is a big deal and a good deal that they are changing that challenge rule.
All right, so we'll kick it to the second rule now. This one has a little bit of in-depth analysis that's going to be needed.
Okay.
We'll kick it over here to the flopping in games. When a referee calls a flop, there will be a non-unsportsmanlike technical foul called on the offending player's team, meaning the person who he pump faked the flop, a la Vlade. And then the opposing team will get a free throw. Referees also won't have to stop the play to call a flop, as they can wait until the next stop in the live action if needed to make the call. Also, possession will not change. However, flopping violations can be directly reviewed by a coach's challenge. They can, however, be added to a call during a review in a different play. There's a lot to take there, brother. But basically what we're saying here, and we're going to go your way here, HT High Flyer, is big deal or no deal on the new flopping rule that you can be called, that a technical foul can be called and you can give up a free throw.
Okay, I'm going to give it to you like this, Jay. It's called the VD21 rule, okay? Actually, at the California Classic, I had a chance to sit down with lead referee Leon Wood and Bill Kennedy, because I actually asked them, because we didn't know nothing about the rule. So I actually asked them how the rule went. And you know, they're still making changes. Before, it was the tech and the ball and the possession. And then they changed that to where now it's just the technical, not the possession. And they refined it a little bit more since they went to Vegas, because now they're saying that it can be reviewed. Before the California Classic, you couldn't review
it, really.
A flopping. No, you couldn't do that. So they're still rescinding that. But the main thing that I took from all of that, I'm like, Wood, how are you guys going to, call this? He said, it's going to be called pretty much the first month and a half of the NBA season. He said, but as the season go along, they're not going to be calling that big time. He said, because they just want to get a handle on all the flopping that's going on early and often in the league.
So big deal or no big deal?
No big deal.
No big. And I do like the wrinkle that they're not going to stop play to call a flop, that they'll call it at the next stoppage of play, because that's one of the things that we talked about, speeding up the game when we were talking about baseball before. Fans are getting tired of all the stoppages and
the reviews
in the NBA and all the reviews.
And I think that's the reason why they say just the flop can't be reviewed. But if they're reviewing a foul, a flop can be added within the review.
Okay, I think I got that, but I'm with you. I'm going to say no big deal because I don't think it sticks. Didn't they put in an anti-flopping rule a few years ago? They were calling it the James Harden rule.
Yeah, it was loosely.
And they called it for a little while, and then,
then
they stopped.
They're going to call it for a while, and they're going to stop calling it. They're just trying to get, a handle on all of these guys doing the antics and falling out whenever they get touched, trying to create the offensive foul. But I don't think it's a big deal, because after a while, they're going to stop calling.
Yeah, it won't stick. So we're both saying no big deal.
No deal.
What's up next, Jay?
Yeah. We're talking the NBA, so we're talking about expansion. We're talking about Summer League in Las Vegas. We're talking about expansion. Ramie.
Yes, sir.
Big deal or no big deal. Adam Silver talking about the NBA will soon expand, and I say soon. That could be 5 years down the road. He's prefacing the words, but soon may be expanding to Seattle and maybe Las Vegas, and of course, they're going to always play a couple of cities in there to play against each other. Big deal or no deal, the NBA expanding.
Yeah, he said once the new TV deal is done. He said he wanted to get two things checked off, the CBA and the new TV deal before they started talking seriously about expansion. And the new TV deal is just about to get done.
Yes.
And then it'll be time seriously to talk about expansion. Henry, I say big deal, and I don't like it. I don't feel like this league needs to expand. You're spreading talent even thinner. Selfishly, it makes it easier for a player from one of the teams I watch and root for to leave and go to. The more teams that are out there, the more competition there is for everybody's services, the more widespread all this talent is. And quite frankly, it waters down the product a little bit when you expand so much.
You would think, but that's us being old school. You have to look at, the game evolves, man. I'm sorry. It just don't stay stagnant. They're going to expand. When you think about cities like Seattle deserves an NBA team. Of course, they're going to bring one to Las Vegas. Las Vegas is getting a little bit of everything. They have the money to build. They have the money to promote. So Las Vegas will get an NBA team. I'll tell you what, I think Tennessee, I think Nashville. I think Nashville deserves an NBA team. They're up and coming. So when you say expansion, I'm for it.
You are.
I'm for it.
Who's Nashville take over, though?
No, he's saying expansion.
But I mean, can you expand 3 teams? No, right?
No,
you would have to keep it.
No.
Keep it even. Right?
I'm just saying when you
Two
look
of those 3.
When you look at East and West, I think Nashville really can hold a team.
Yeah, that's a good point. If you put a team in Vegas and a team in Seattle, those are both going to be in the Western Conference.
Right, you're going to have to put 2 in the East.
What I've seen, though, is you move either Minnesota or
you can do that.
Oklahoma City, a couple of those. Yeah,
you move them over.
I never understood why Minnesota was in the Western Conference.
Because you have to keep it. Keep it civil.
It's just to keep it. But I mean, geographically, it never made sense. So that would make if they move Minnesota to the East, and I guess it lines up that way.
Right now, HT Ramie, Seattle, Nashville, Las Vegas. Pick your 2.
I'm going Seattle and Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Okay.
But see, the problem is you can't do that because both of those teams are going to be on the West. So are you going to put those teams in the West and move 2 teams to the East?
Well, no, you just have to move 1 team, right?
Yeah, you would have to.
Right?
You would have to push 1 team.
You'd have to push 1 team over because you're adding 2. So if you push 1 team over, you'll have 16 on each side.
No, you're adding 2 to the West.
Right, but you're adding 1 to you're taking 1 out. This is going to get confusing now.
Yes, I would thought you would have to take 2 to the East.
Right now you have 30 teams, right?
Right.
15 in the East, 15 in the West. So if you added 2 to the West,
that's 17.
That's 17.
You got to
take 1 away.
You take 1.
They'd have 16, and you'd be adding 1 to the East, so they'd have 16. See what I'm saying?
No, you're still off. You're still off there because you got the 2 teams that's going to be in the West. You got to move 1 to the East. That makes it 16. You're only adding 2 teams.
I feel like this is the Charles Barkley gas cover. So you remember that? They were doing the gas math and they couldn't get it right.
They're terrible. Say neither one of those guys are doing scholars. It's terrible.
I'm going to do the math during the break and then we'll come back. And the mayor of Oakland showed up to the All-Star game in Seattle with receipts for Rob Manfred, who said there wasn't a ballpark proposal. We'll talk about that coming up next.
It's Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
How do you feel about go to the game with a glove guy to catch foul balls?
Oh gosh, no, absolutely not.
No,
if you're still in grade school, it's okay. But guy who brings glove to field, it gives energy. It's just not a move. It's just not something in my opinion, a grown adult should do.
It's Whitey and Watkins from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Sactown Sports.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Are you ready for an incredible pre-owned blowout at Elk Grove Kia? Elk Grove Kia has got you covered with over 300 used cars, SUVs, vans, and trucks available. Every single one of our vehicles has gone through an extensive 150-point inspection, so you can buy with complete confidence. We stand by our cars and offer a bring-it-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, simply return it. Worried about your credit? Don't be. At Elk Grove Kia, we have 100 years of combined experience in helping our customers get the best financing options available. Charge-offs, repossessions, foreclosures, bankruptcies, no problem. Our team specializes in finding solutions for every credit situation. But before you even step foot in our dealership, let us show you what we can do for you. Give us a call or visit our website, and our dedicated team will work with you to find the perfect vehicle and the best financing options. Elk Grove Kia is your destination for incredible pre-owned deals. Visit us today at Elk Grove Kia or check us out online at elkgrovekia.com.
Turn your highway into a smile way. Elk Grove Kia.
If your passion is bass fishing, only one radio show has the action, information, and excitement of your favorite outdoor sport. Ultimate Bass, hosted by Tournament Bass Pro and California Outdoor Hall of Famer Kip Brown, takes you live to where the fish are biting every Saturday morning. Only Ultimate Bass feeds your passion with the latest news, products, tips, and advice from the pros. Ultimate Bass with Kip Brown, Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. on Sactown Sports 1140, part of SEP's Saturday Morning Outdoors.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Simone with your Sactown Sports headlines. Summer League continues to smolder in Las Vegas. However, Sacramento Kings stumble again, falling to the Chicago Bulls 107-99 last night. Despite the L, Sacramento native point guard Jordan Ford put on a show, racking up 25 points and 8 assists Tuesday. The Summer League Kings are back in action tomorrow. The critically acclaimed HBO docuseries Hard Knocks is heading to the Big Apple this summer, as the NFL has selected the New York Jets as the subject for the upcoming season. The New Look Green Gang will report to training camp on July 19th, with cameras up starting day one. And after 9 straight losses to the American League, the National League finally back in the win column last night for the 93rd Midsummer Classic.
The National League's finally back on top. Its first All-Star game win since 2012.
I'm Simone, now back to Sactown Sports.
Got to pay back. Revenge.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sactown Sports.
Yeah, that's what Mayor Shang Tao went to Seattle looking for, a little payback, a little revenge on John Fisher in Major League Baseball. Henry Turner in the co-host chair this afternoon. Jay on the other side of the glass on the ones and twos. Simone on the updates. And on Sunday night, Henry, and like I said before, you told me during a break, you grew up a big A's fan, sneaking into the Coliseum to watch Raleigh Fingers and Vita Blue do their
Sal
thing.
Bando,
So
Catfish Hunter, all the old school guys, man. I love that. That's what we did as youngsters, and then tickets wasn't crazy back then. You was able to get a bleacher ticket for like maybe $7, and we would go there, man, and watch those guys play. And that was my first, just say, introduction to Major League Sports, was to go watch the A's, because that was what was going on at that particular time. That's what made me like baseball, to start off playing baseball at such an early age.
So you got some passion for this
no
relocation
doubt.
issue.
No doubt.
And on Sunday, as I read from Ken Rosenthal's piece at The Athletic, in a meeting at a Seattle hotel, Oakland Mayor Shang Tao said she gave MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred documented evidence of her city's plan to build a new ballpark. It was the first time the two met, Tao said. Previously, they conversed only through the media. On June 15th, in addressing the A's potential move, Manfred said, quote, "There is no Oakland offer, okay? They never got to a point where they had a plan to build a stadium at any site." Tao released a statement immediately calling Manfred's claim, quote, "totally false." And on Sunday, she showed up in Seattle with the receipts, and not just documents for Rob Manfred,
right,
Henry and Jay, but for all 30 teams, for the owners of all 30 teams, because their relocation is going to have to be voted on by the Major League Baseball owners. And what she showed up with, literally crates and crates of documents that included a summary of terms, infrastructure financing plan, preliminary development plan, design guidelines, and a tentative tract map. And she said, for me, it was very important that Manfred, and not just him, but the league's relocation committee and the owners had a copy of all that we are presenting for transparency purposes. Through the press, we have heard that Manfred has stated there was no proposal. We want to dispel that notion. If people were misinformed, we wanted to make sure everybody had all the real-time information of how close we were to a ballpark.
I came on here ready for the smoke.
Yes, she did.
Let me ask you this. Didn't you see, it was like a few years back when they was going big time about this proposal to build a new park. They came out with a proposed plan to build something down at the docks. They had the baseball stadium. They had the infrastructure of how BART would go down and bring people in. They had a whole plan back in the day.
And that was part of the presentation that she made. I'll continue on from Ken Rosenthal's piece. A 52-page presentation of terms summarizing the transactional documents, a 114-page explanation of the Howard Terminal design guidelines, which you're referring to, and a 120-page preliminary development plan, including detailed maps, building, and grading plans. They said that the park would be part of a $12 billion developmental project, and the A's wanted at Howard Terminal in Las Vegas. The team would be getting only $1.5 billion. So they actually had more money on the table than what Las Vegas is offering. And the city in the presentation it prepared for Manfred and the owners said it secured more than $425 million in funding to cover off-site infrastructure costs, $65 million more than the A's requested. The team would pay for on-site infrastructure and development, but the city would reimburse about $500 million of that cost through the creation of an infrastructure financing district, according to Molly Maybrun, the city's lead negotiator and project manager for the Howard Terminal site. That's a lot of jargon there, but true. It sounds to me like they had an offer on the table after Rob Manfred straight up lied to all our faces and said that they did not have an offer on the table. And it looks like it was as good or better than what Las Vegas has on the table now.
I have to say this, I love my city. I do. I'm born and raised East Side Oakland, but you have to look at it from a business aspect also. Where would this team be more prettier at? Down by the docks in Oakland or taking it to Vegas?
I just don't know if there's
not even close in Oakland.
I think in
Howard
Oakland.
Terminal.
Yeah, I would say in Oakland for me, and especially when you look, man. I'm not saying Las Vegas shouldn't get a team.
I said
should get an NBA team.
I said, and this is you too, Jay. I said from a business aspect, where would it be prettier, in Oakland or Vegas? I'm just saying.
Terminal.
I would say in Oakland, and even from a business standpoint,
I think from a business standpoint, Vegas is a bigger draw.
The Bay Area is the number 10 market in the country. Like we're not talking about.
I understand.
You know what I mean? We're not talking about small time chips here in Oakland. That's a big market when you consider the entirety of the Bay Area, and they've shown that when there's a good team on the field and a good product,
support it, no doubt.
They support it and show out.
For sure.
The reason why I disagree, HT, is this. Las Vegas is a business amongst itself. They don't need any assistance. They don't need any help. Long as those casinos are sitting out there, you and I both know they're going to always conduct business. They're going to be here longer than we going to be here, Lord willing, right? And so with Oakland, it's a different ball game, especially losing, which we knew the Warriors were going to San Francisco sooner or later. So I don't even include that into the town Oakland, the city of Oakland losing that. They started in San Francisco.
That was a business.
That was a business move.
Exactly.
We know that,
business
right?
Move.
Especially when they start winning championships, it's easier to make more money over that side.
Exactly.
So my thing with Oakland, though, is, and this is where the big discontent with, at least what we've been told, with the Oakland A's is they wanted major control of the surrounding pieces, the surrounding buildings, the surrounding living situations around the new Howard Terminal.
Everything they're going to put together with it.
Which we know that's what most owners want. That's where the money comes from, the commercialized businesses around the stadium. That's where they make their money. Parking lots, things like that.
Developing the land.
Absolutely.
We've already been through this, developing the land, everything else around it. But I'm looking at it like this. What is the entertainment capital of the world right now? It's Vegas. And baseball is entertainment.
They don't need days, though.
I was just going to say.
See, they don't need days.
They don't need, but think about it, man. I'm telling you, in Vegas, it's more the merrier. They don't need another casino either, but they still building them because more and more people want to be in the know.
And but do they come? But okay, Ramie, and this is the question we're going to find out. Hopefully we don't. I'm knocking on wood.
Right.
The question that we're going to find out is, do people go to Las Vegas and include a baseball game in 115-degree weather amongst their entertainment when you got a brand new Sphere that's out here looking at people with an eye, when you have all these different casinos that's jumping around, when you have maybe an NBA team. We know the Raiders is going to take up at least, 8 to 10 weekends of the year with all their different pageantry and things and events they're going to have on top of, like, I'll use this for existence. My mother went to go see Elton John in Las Vegas. She could have seen him out here at Santa Clara or wherever he was in the Bay. She's like, no, I'm going to Las Vegas because, as you said, it had nothing to do with a baseball game.
Nope.
And that's the thing. We're already talking about baseball games. And even though we're talking about baseball has, the attendance is up and things like that. Know what? Many people aren't going to Vegas to see a baseball game. I just don't see it. Now, they have to show me to believe it. But I also think if you did the same thing and made Oakland a spectacle and put it at the Howard Terminal and brought Yoshi's up back to, and brought Yoshi's, which is an entertainment venue out in the town. Come on now. Like, if you started to do those type of things in Oakland, which we've seen, they got a fake beach volleyball down there at Howard Terminal. People are going to come.
I'm with you. You're on the aspect of if you build it, they will
Absolutely.
come.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm talking the aspect of it's already built and they already come.
I just don't. I could see, Jay, like a group of friends who are like myself. I'm a Cubs fan. I could see me and a few of my boys saying, "Hey, let's plan a Vegas trip around a Cubs series and go catch 1 or 2 games." I don't know how many people are doing that, but to me, that's a terrible business model because who wants to go and play for that team where you're counting on half the attendance to be road fans every game?
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't want to play in front of that. I don't want to go and play for Vegas.
HT, are you going to, okay, real quick.
Yes.
Right now, Cub fan, no Cub fan, HT, A fan, no A fan. If you go to Las Vegas, let's say the Kings send you to Las Vegas right now for the Summer League, which they do, you go out there for a weekend, first weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Are you catching the Oakland A's game? Of all the things, even if you go to Vegas 2-3 times.
I see Henry going through all the things he does in Vegas.
Okay, we're talking about, look, UFC, we're talking about gambling, we're talking about good eats, we're talking about a big boxing fight, we're talking about concerts, the Raiders, shows, Blue Man Group, all these different things. Are you going to see A's game?
I see where you guys are going with this, but you have to understand, everybody just can't go to all of those things. We could have said the same thing when they took hockey to Vegas.
Different.
No. We could have said the same thing when they took football to Vegas. Why is it different? It's still important. A sports venue.
Nah, HC, the only reason why I argue the hockey thing is hockey, the Knights originated in Las Vegas. When I go to Las Vegas, and I told this story, when you talk to people who are from Vegas, they accepted the Knights because it was theirs. They're all about it. Now, the Raiders, different thing. We're talking about the Raiders, the Shield. We're talking about football, which is the number 1 sport in our country.
Here's the deal, Jay. If I'm in Vegas and I got
8 games a year,
and I got a choice to go see the Knights or go see Usher, I'm sorry.
You're going to see Usher. That part. Exactly.
But
that part.
Is Usher doing a stint? Is it?
Yeah, that's what I went in March for.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Killing it.
Oh, have you seen? I know you haven't seen it, Ramie. HT, you seen it? Have you had an opportunity to go see the last couple of years?
Don't take your girl.
Oh man. Okay.
Usher's in the crowd. All right. Hey, Usher is in the crowd and he is scoping. Don't take your girl.
A big topic at hand the last week over Keke Palmer. Yeah,
causing a lot of trouble with Keegan Palmer.
I see Kyle Kuzma.
I tried to go and sing to Kyle Kuzma's girl. She jumped in his lap.
Yeah, Winnie Harlow. She made it understood. There ain't gonna be no Keke Palmer over here.
Like I said, man, you better watch your girl. Yeah, you better hold on to her.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I would. I'd be uncomfortable.
Hey, you gonna leave Vegas lighter in the pocket and without a woman?
We might have to do this. If let's say the A's move to Vegas.
Yes.
Let's make a top 10 list. Maybe we get to it at the end of the show.
Things to do
before you go to a show, right? Like, what would you do? Where would the A's rank on your to-do list in Las Vegas?
I don't know if they're cracking. I mean, maybe top 10 for me, but I'm like a baseball nut. You know what I mean?
Make the list. We'll talk about it in the 5 o'clock hour.
I did just want to tie a quick bow tie on this meeting between Rob Manfred and Mayor Shang Tao of Oakland. Rob Manfred continues to be a condescending ass and a straight up liar to our faces on this whole thing. And just
why you always lying?
The backhanded compliments that he's putting out there. Again, this isn't the first time he's done this when it comes to this situation. He said after the meeting with the mayor, we had a good meeting, a very open exchange of ideas. I understand she came to the process late and is doing her best to figure out if there's something that can be done in a process that was in a lot of ways kind of over when she showed up on the scene. Dude, he's making it sound like a middle school kid who didn't do her homework and is showing up and asking if she can make up for it. And when that's just straight up disrespectful, and B, she showed up with boxes and boxes of receipts that show she didn't come to this thing late in the process.
And they've been fighting this for a long time because you don't have boxes and boxes just overnight. I'm with you on that. You can't say that, there was nothing done. There was nothing said. There was nothing in writing. I'm sorry, bro. She got boxes of receipts.
I said this to Jay yesterday. We all get lied to, right? And in the media, there are certain situations and scenarios where I expect to get lied to. People need to keep information private or whatever the case might be. But the most insulting type of lie, Henry, is when you look in my face and you know that I know that you're lying to me, and you just go ahead and do it anyways. You know what I mean?
It's like me sitting in this chair saying, "Hey, Rom, you know it's snowing outside."
Right, exactly. Man, she showed up with boxes and boxes of receipts that show you're lying, and you're just going to keep on lying?
Hey, it really is snowing, right?
It's far from snowing, man. I'm going to melt like a snowman out there, but it is far from snowing.
Hey, that's just a figment of your imagination, man. It's snowing.
We'll hit a quick break, then we'll head to Las Vegas and check in on the Summer League with a guy you might have heard of. Jason Ross joins us next.
Get all the latest 49ers news heading into the 2023 season on Sactown Sports.
I think Brock was smart, and we kind of facilitated that he met with a bunch of different surgeons. The hope is he's ready for the regular season. We'll take it as it comes, as we're doing. He's working incredibly hard, and the early returns are really good.
Sactown Sports, Sacramento's official home for 49ers football.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters, right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with zero down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
Zero down with approved credit. Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
And Ramie Mackloff with you for the hours of 2 to 6 of those 12 hours of live and local sports talk here on Sactown Sports on the old airwaves at 1140. The app, which is totally free, SactownSports.com, right here at YouTube.com/Sactown Sports. If you're watching there, you already know, sitting in the co-host chair this afternoon is the high flyer, Henry Turner, and joining us now. Were you about to say something?
I say in the building.
Joining us now on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. You know him from the Jason Ross Show with Carmichael Dave, weekday mornings here on Sactown Sports. It is the one, the only Jason Ross. How are you this afternoon, my man?
I'm great, Ramie, and I've got the visual. I don't have the YouTube on in front of me. I sure hope Henry was dancing there to Rick James.
He's been moving all afternoon long. He's picking up what Jay is putting down in the bumper music.
Jason, do not try to butter me up. You know I'm angry with you. You did not take me to Vegas. You out there having a great time, and I'm here. So I tell you what, bro, if you don't bring me nothing back from Vegas, we ain't cool no more, man. The friendship's over.
What you guys want? What you want, Henry? What you want, Ramie?
Man, you got to at least bring me a pair of dice back back or something, man.
Fuzzy or real? Fuzzy or hard?
Come on, bro. I want the fuzzy ones, man. I got a 6'4". I got to put them in.
Yeah. Don't isolate that one.
You can just bring me some of those cards that everybody's handing out on the sidewalk, Jason. You don't got to spend any money on me. Just bring me some of those cards everybody's handing out on the sidewalk. What's your major takeaway so far from the summer league and what you've seen from the Sacramento Kings, Jason?
Well, the biggest one, I mean, is go back to the Classic because Henry was there. He saw in person too what Keegan Murray was able to do. I mean, I think there was question mark whether or not he should even play in that, but the Kings obviously put some pressure on him to play and be aggressive and attack, and he went off for 29 and then 41. So that to me is the biggest thing that's going to impact next year's team and the team going forward. But as far as the other guys trying to make some noise, yeah, there's some guys that are really trying to, assert themselves for that other two remaining roster spots and the one other two-way that's still out there. And whether that's Keon Ellis, Nini Keita, obviously Colby Jones is already going to be in the mix, but, Jordan Ford's made some noise. So there's a few guys out here that are trying to scratch the outside edge of this roster.
Jason, I'm going to take it outside the Kings. We didn't get a chance to see San Antonio's Wembanyama, the number 1 pick. We didn't get a chance to see him here in Sacramento. I really wanted to just see the guy. So you finally got a chance to watch him on the basketball floor. Give me a synopsis of what this guy can do, and is he really all that they're cracking him up to be?
I think so. I mean, obviously you want to see him against elevated competition, but he did that even when he was playing overseas and playing some exhibition games against, U.S. teams. And I think it's just going to be a matter of time, Henry. Just, rookie year, more comfortable, more reps. There's going to be a lot asked of him, but I think it's because he can do a lot. Defensively, he is already going to have an impact, obviously. And then I was impressed with his ball handling. Like, he's really skilled ball handler. And then just as he gets more comfortable with his body, his frame, getting grown man strength, I mean, I think he has every chance, if he stays healthy, to really dominate this league.
Let me bring it back to the Kings, Jason. And you talked about some of the guys that have stood out and made a case to as you put it, get on the fringe of the roster. One guy who I think a lot of people were, and Henry mentioned him at the top of the show, were looking to step up and show something and solidify a spot on the roster is Kessler Edwards. What's been your impression of watching him through a couple of preseason or a couple of summer league games so far?
Yeah, I'll be candid on that one, Ramie. I've honestly been a little disappointed, and that doesn't mean that's an end all, like he's done, shouldn't be on the roster. But he's a guy that played in some meaningful games, in some meaningful moments in the regular season, had to go in and guard Devin Booker, and did a good job of that. So I mean, you realize what he has potential to do, but he's a third-year guy now, and I expected him to shine more. He doesn't have to dominate, but I feel like he's been more of just a fit-in guy. And when you're here as an experienced NBA player, I honestly was expecting more. Now, I think he plays better clearly with Sabonis, Fox, Herter, the whole group, but I honestly was expecting a little bit more from him.
Now, Jason, do you think it's a situation to where he's trying to do a little too much? Because when you have all these other guys around you, you have the leeway of just, being the guy. All you have to do is play defense. All you have to do is make the right pass. But when you're on the summer league team, and me and Ramie talked about this a little bit earlier, everybody can't be a Batman. Some guys got to be a Robin, and you need an Alfred to take care and, go out and wash the clothes. At the end of the day, do you think he's more comfortable with just playing that role?
He probably is, but, Henry, this, like guys that get to this far, at some point you were always the man. Like at high school, even if it's junior high, high school, college, like these are the elite of the elite. And, yeah, he may be a notch below, all-stars or regular rotation guys, but I still – honestly expect a little more, and maybe he is more comfortable in that fit-in connector kind of like I can find my way guy. But I don't know. I just like to ask of Keegan, go get the game, go take it. He did it. I was just hoping for a little bit more from Kessler Edwards. It just makes you wonder if he can do it, and he may not need to do that if he's on the everyday roster. I just thought this would be an opportunity for him to do that.
What's been your impression of the 2 draft picks, Colby Jones and Jalen Slauson, so far?
More impressed with Colby, and I think, they show that contract-wise, and, he's that first guy to be a second-round pick that gets a 4-year contract, something guaranteed. I think they feel like he to me looks like a guy that can attack the game, but also let the game come to him, and I really feel like he would be the guy that would, if he's asked on injuries in the regular season, to play, more meaningful minutes, starter minutes, bench minutes. I think he's ready to do that. His position versatility looks strong. As far as Jalen Slauson, it's just a couple of California Classic games and a couple of games in Vegas. I haven't seen the same kind of thing from him, but look, we're still talking about guys just getting started. They've got him on a 2-way. I picture him more in Stockton, but some guys need more time too, and I think he deserves that.
Jay, I really have to agree with you on the Kobe aspect of, the couple of games I had a chance to see him play here in Sacramento. He did look like he was NBA ready. He didn't have that look like, okay, the deer in the headlight look, the rookie, I'm in the NBA look, the size of his body. He's 6'5", 6'6". He has a nice sized body to where he can create a little contact. He can take some bumps and bruises. He definitely looked like a guy that can probably give you some meaningful minutes this year, but give him a year and a little, a little time on the floor, and he probably can give you some big time minutes in the second year.
Yeah, and he fits into that Monty mold of a guy that has experience in college, kind of comes in NBA ready, like you said, Henry. And then you're right, he's put in work on his frame already. He doesn't really need to do as much of that. It's just getting comfortable with the system, getting comfortable with the league, getting comfortable with the guys. I think he's the kind of player that will grow, and I know they're really excited about him and feel pretty happy that they got him in the second round.
Have you seen the Sphere?
I have. I can't keep my eyes off it, Ramie. It's weird. We're not that far from the hotel to Thomas and Mack at Cox Pavilion.
Sure.
But the last two games, I walked back, which probably isn't recommended, but I did. It was still like 100 at night. But I kept staring at the Sphere. And when they had one of the times the Sphere had an eyeball, and I got lost in the eye. It was just these dreamy blue eyes. One blue eye of the Sphere. I think I got to go tonight to see it again. It's really incredible.
I saw that eyeball. I talked about it yesterday on the air, and I wasn't, because people get creative with Photoshop or whatever on social. I wasn't sure if that was if they were actually doing that, or if that was somebody having fun with Photoshop. That's freaky. That giant eyeball that they lit it up with.
And it blinks, like you see the eyelashes, and it's blinking, it's moving around, looking different directions. I'm like, wait, is it following me?
Yeah, that's too freaky.
Got a little pink eye, a little red eye.
Yes, all of the above.
That's Jason Ross. Catch him on the Jason Ross Show with Carmichael Dave, weekday mornings right here on Sactown Sports. And catch all his coverage live from the Summer League at SactownSports.com. Appreciate the time, sir. Thank you very much.
You got it, Ramie. Now that's my idea. I'm bringing you back the Sphere.
Hey, Jay, put $2 on Fold the Hard Way, and if I hit, double it up and send me my earnings, man. I appreciate it.
I don't even know what that means, but you got it.
Thanks, Jason. We'll talk again soon. And he joins us on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Yeah, I have no idea what you just said.
How can you be in Vegas and don't understand? Put it on for the hard way. That means 2 2s. You roll the dice, you get 2 2s.
Okay.
And if you hit, you re-up and double up and send me my money. You do understand? Send me my money.
I understand that part.
Exactly.
Okay, I got that part. That part made sense to me. Right after this, Jay presented a very interesting, he found a very interesting ultimatum or hypothetical decision as for how one would want their NBA career to go. We'll ask the former NBA player, the high flyer, Henry Turner, and you right after this.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa, Thursdays at 6 p.m. on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa, Thursdays at 6 p.m. on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. For Wednesday, plenty of sunshine expected with light southwest winds. Afternoon temperatures quite toasty, warming into the upper 90s. Expect overnight lows in the lower 60s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Shop Folsom Lake Kia for all your favorite models at low prices and payments, plus low finance rates and 0 down deals with approved credit. Go see my friends at Folsom Lake Kia right here in Sacramento for over 20 years.
Wells Fargo gives you access to direct deposit funds up to 2 days early.
Plus, if you look at the X and Y axis.
What if everything came 2 days early? Like the weekend.
Well, That was a pleasant surprise.
You can't get everything early, but when it comes to direct deposits, you can with Wells Fargo.
Visit wellsfargo.com/get-early to learn more. Terms and conditions apply. Not all direct deposits are eligible. Early availability is not guaranteed and may vary between deposits from the same payer. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
Y'all ready to do it again, Sacramento? Country in the Park 2 is coming to Heart Health Park at Cal Expo Saturday, September 9th with Cole Swindell, Chris Jansen, Dylan Scott, and more. Plus, a mechanical bull, line dancing saloon, and all the food. Tickets start at $40 or grab your Coors Light Y'all Access passes for $125. For more info, visit SactownSports.com. Country in the Park 2, brought to you by Hoblet Dodge, E2 Family Winery, and Hyatt Vacation Club.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who pay attention to every little detail. The ones who fuss, tinker, and sweat the small stuff. Because you know the tiniest thing can make the biggest difference when it comes to keeping business moving. We get it. We're the same way, offering access to product experts to help you quickly and easily find what you need. So whatever your industry, you know you're always getting professional grade products. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street, right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
During a Flex Alert, let's do the dishes after 9.
What about the laundry?
It can wait until tonight, or even the morning.
The AC?
It's at 78. Let's cool the house in the morning.
All right, so we're just chilling until 9.
Pretty much. And we can help avoid a power outage.
Putting off chores for later and hanging out with my best friend? I love Flex.
Maybe you should just unplug the appliances downstairs?
Good idea. Better acoustics in the basement.
California, the power is ours with Flex Alerts. Flex Alerts, the power is ours.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Simone with your Sactown Sports headlines. Summer League continues to smolder in Las Vegas. However, Sacramento Kings stumble again, falling to the Chicago Bulls 107-99 last night. Despite the L, Sacramento native point guard Jordan Ford put on a show, racking up 25 points and 8 assists Tuesday. The Summer League Kings are back in action tomorrow. The critically acclaimed HBO docuseries Hard Knocks is heading to the Big Apple this summer, as the NFL has selected the New York Jets as the subject for the upcoming season. The New Look Green Gang will report to training camp on July 19th, with cameras up starting day 1. And after 9 straight losses to the American League, the National League finally back in the win column last night for the 93rd Midsummer Classic.
The National League's finally back on top. Its first All-Star game win since 2012.
I'm Simone, now back to Sactown Sports.
Turning inside out, yeah. Floating around in ecstasy, so
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
We are having a good time. That's what we're doing. That's what we do every weekday, 2 to 6. Ramie Makloff with you. That's Jay on the other side of the glass on the 1s and 2s. You heard Simone on the update. And Henry Turner, the high flyer. You know him. You love him from game night and his days with the Kings. He's in the co-host chair this afternoon. You can catch us on the airwaves, on the app, SactownSports.com, or right here, Sactown Sports, or YouTube.com/Sactown Sports. I guess what I wanted to say. You can always, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button while you're there, and leave your comments. And one of the things, I don't know if you checked out our YouTube page very much, Henry, but it's just friends hanging out. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that's become sort of a staple, a tradition on the YouTube page, I know Jay loves it, is we find out what one of our viewers, Willie, is having for lunch or dinner every day.
Oh, Willie.
And let me tell you, Henry, Willie is living it up. So Manny presented the question today. Willie, what's for lunch? You ready for this? Boneless beef short rib sandwich with cheese and Hellman's mayonnaise, mozzarella cheese sticks, and a cherry 7-Up.
Telling you, man, that dude Willie. I know Willie's workout pace got to be enormous.
Is Willie cooking, or he going out and getting this somewhere?
Sometimes he's cooking. Sometimes he's going out to an establishment. It's not clear this time. And then somebody asked, it was Manny. He said, "You really like cheese, don't you?" Willie said, "Provolone, mozzarella, Monterey Jack, and Swiss is my favorite. Cheddar cheese is a good go-to."
I was all of them at this point.
No, dog. He left out the one I like.
And then
provolone. What did he say? What he didn't hit?
That Gouda.
And this sparked what is happening now in this studio, which was an entire discussion about cheese at youtube.com/Sactown Sports.
We're on big time now.
He says Havarti, provolone, feta, gorgonzola. Lots of people have thoughts on cheese. If you want to have a cheese discussion, go check it out. youtube.com/Sactown Sports. Folks commenting on the sports stuff as well. Wildcat Matt says, "I hope Manfred is ousted after all this." Yeah, man. Jay, you forwarded a story today to me that he was looking for an extension.
Yeah, please.
Please, no.
Please, no.
Please. Just hand it over to Theo Epstein, who's really the brains behind all these changes that they've made.
No.
Just go away. Just please go away, Rob. Exactly. Exactly.
Bye.
I put one in there. Oh, hell no.
Speaking of things that Jay passed on to me yesterday, he came across this tweet, Henry, and I wanted to run it by you, from Clutch Points. And it's one of these hypotheticals. Would you rather? And this question was, would you rather have a Robert Horry type of career or a James Harden type of career? So to put it in perspective, Robert Horry made $54 million and came home with 7 rings when all was said and done. James Harden has made $300 million, and there's another big contract somewhere on the horizon that's probably going to push him near 400, if not over $400 million in career earnings when all is said and done. The high flyer, Henry Turner. Which one of those careers would you rather have, the rings or the money?
I love the rings. The rings mean a lot, but let me tell you something. I don't care what nobody say. At the end of the day, it's all about what line you gonna go in when you walk into Merrill Lynch and Wells Fargo. Do you stand in that long line, or are you gonna be the one when you walk in and say, "Mr. Turner, come on over here. I'm your personal banker."
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's exactly where I'm at. I don't know.
We were talking about cheese.
Yes.
Let's keep it there. Show me the money.
I don't know about you, Jay. That was my thought. Exactly.
Show me the money.
The competitor in me, like my knee-jerk reaction is, no, man, I want to win. Give me the rings. And then sensible Ramie steps in with some perspective. You know what I mean? And some logic and some common sense. And it's like, man, we're talking about not just changing your life with $400+ million, not to mention whatever he's made it off the court, but you're not just changing, you're changing the trajectory of everyone who follows you in your lineage with that type of wealth. You know what I mean?
Yes. You know what? At the end of the day, and really it's sad to say, I know some guys who have won championships and got championship rings, but are broke.
Come on now, HT.
Broke. Straight broke.
Pawning that thing.
The type of money that James Harden has made, like you said, that's generational money. You change your life. You change your mother's life. You're going to change your kids' and grandkids' life with over 300-something million plus. Man, I'm taking the loot.
And like I said, the next one in total is going to exceed $100 million. He's not going to get it this year because he's not going into free agency. But next year, he's going to get a 3-4 year deal in north of $100 million. He's going to end up making over $400 million in this league when all is said and done.
And I definitely don't think he's worth it. That's terrible. But as a player, I'm happy for him. James Harden, get every nickel and dime you can because, hey, you know what? Last time I checked, nobody is coming to the arena to see an owner. They're coming to see the players.
Thank you.
Get all you can while you can.
You know, while we're on the subject of James Harden, you just said you don't think he's worth all that money. And he asked out of Philly. He opted into the contract, but then asked out of Philly. More and more, it seems now, the rumors, the reports seem to be, and this is from Dave McMenamin, that there's a good chance James Harden stays with Philadelphia. He said, quote, I was speaking to a bunch of folks about this Sunday evening. The signals right now is that he will be back with the Sixers as of right now, with no momentum appearing on a deal with the Los Angeles Clippers. That's been the team that's been rumored to show the most interest in him. I don't know if there's a market for James Harden out there.
It
right
isn't.
now.
James Harden time has come and gone. You think about it. He couldn't get it done in Houston. All right. He left Houston. He went to Brooklyn. Couldn't get it done in Brooklyn. You leave Brooklyn, you go to Philly. You couldn't get it done in Philly. Now, I'll tell you what, I like James Harden. I don't like his style of play, but he was very effective when he was in Houston. It goes to show that he really can't play with the big three. He's not going to be a championship type guy. And think about it. His age is getting up there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see nobody giving James Harden a $100 million contract. I honestly don't see that.
I mean, it sounds crazy on its surface, but we talked at the start of the show when we were talking about what the Kings have done this offseason and Harrison Barnes' contract versus this guy's contract. Silly money just gets thrown around in the NBA, man. You know what I mean?
Believe me. Well, once that TV contract gets done, of course, the money is going to escalate once again. But what I'm saying is that it was a reason why James Harden opted in to that year.
Yes.
He's making, what, $48 million this year?
Yep.
No NBA team was going to pay James Harden $48 million. Oh, 38?
38. Yeah.
Same thing, 38. He's not getting $38 million from anybody else because $38 million almost equates to, okay, you're going to bring me a championship or get me close to it, and James Harden hasn't been able to do that.
But you know what? Kyrie Irving was very much in the same situation last year where he could have opted out and tested the free agent waters, but he had some recent issues off the court that I think sort of depleted his value in the market. So he opted in and played out the year and then got traded, and he got the big contract this year. Now, he's younger than James Harden, so I could see somebody giving James Harden that money next year. I'm not saying I would.
You know what? The reason why I can't see it is, like I said, he hasn't been able to get it done. And if James Harden was the type of guy who was always had his nose to the grind in the gym, working out 150%, we're talking about a guy that comes in out of shape, tries to play his way into shape. He doesn't get into shape until like All-Star break. Mm-hmm. You don't know what you're going to get out of James Harden. His play is so far up and so far down. It's crazy. You know, Kyrie Irving is not that guy. As soon as Kyrie Irving steps on the floor, he's going to produce and he's going to make other people around him better. James Harden is partying. He's in Vegas. You know, James Harden left here. I know this for a fact. He left here when they played. He didn't play, but he left here, flew to Vegas, partied all night in Vegas, and then went to the next game. When you are an NBA player, there's no – and you serious about your craft?
Yeah, I've never heard of that. I've never heard of that.
Kobe Bryant wouldn't ever deviate in the season to do anything. It would have to be a funeral for him to miss a game.
Yeah. No, I thought that was weird when I had heard that story as well. We got to get to a quick break. Today, a notoriously dead day on the sports calendar. Well, sports fans, I may have something for you to watch tonight. We also know who's going to be on Hard Knocks. We'll discuss that next.
The Kings are running it back.
He's got the bucket at the buzzer. Harrison Barnes. Alex Lynn just went above the iron with a two-hand throwdown. And that was as nasty as we've seen him in a Kings uniform.
And welcoming some new faces.
Oh, and here comes Vezenkov. He gets the big finish. Fisher rejected by Mr. Vezenkov.
Keep it locked on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for the latest Kings news.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and I recognize, just like my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, that your time is important. And that's why shopping for a new air conditioner is now easier with American Energy Heat and Air's online quoting tool. All you have to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote right now. It'll help you determine what system you're going to need to get. It'll provide the best pricing options, all from the comfort of your home without having to have somebody come to your home. You know how annoying that is? They come in and everybody there is so sweet and nice, but how much better is it to be able to get it on demand? Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your needs are, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you target the right audience, build your leads, and crush your quota. Take your business to the next level. Our digital marketing strategies help grow awareness of your product or service, all while building trust in your business. Our approach involves leveraging multiple tools and strategies to deliver exceptional results that are customized to your unique business needs. Don't wait to run out of sales leads. Keep your business growing. Get started with aimyourdigital.com today.
Attention home services contractors who want to grow their business with more leads while leveraging their marketing costs to receive over 10 times the value in advertising. Subcontractors United is offering 40 home services contractors from architects to landscapers to participate in our advertising co-op. For less than $2,100 per month, you'll share in over $83,000 a month in advertising. That's $1 million a year in advertising for under $2,100 a month. And because there's only 3 subcontractors per category, not 3,000, your lead potential is unlimited. Generate more leads than you ever thought possible. Be one of only 3 subcontractors in a category and receive $1 million a year in advertising by leveraging the power of a united group. That's subcontractorsunited.com or Google Subcontractors United for more information. But hurry, categories are filling up.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network. Well, when the A's took the shortstop Jacob Wilson from Grand Canyon in the first round of this year's draft, it meant the A's had drafted a shortstop from Thousand Oaks High in 2 of the last 3 first rounds, going back to 21 when the A's took Max Muncy. And now Wilson, coached by his dad, the former big leaguer Jack Wilson, in high school, taken by the A's 6th overall. Ken Korak here, introducing you to the Xfinity 10G network. Xfinity is undergoing a multi-year network evolution, giving you a powerful connection today while building toward a faster, more reliable tomorrow. The Xfinity 10G network gives you the fastest internet with even faster speeds rolling out all the time. You also get a consistent and reliable connection when everyone's online, even during peak hours. That's a home run. If you want to learn more, go online at xfinity.com/10G.
All right, let's go. Shimmy, shimmy, Cocoa Pop. Yeah, shimmy, shimmy, Cocoa Pop. Shimmy, shimmy, Cocoa Pop.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
Crossover. See me, Cocoa, might go Cocoa, and I might go pop. Now it's about time that I clear this. So pardon me, miss, but I'd like for you to hear this.
Ryan Mackloff with you on Sactown Sports. Henry Turner, the high flyer from game night, former King, sitting in the co-host chair. Jay on the other side of the glass. Simone on your updates. Coming up at 4 o'clock, some folks within the Kings organization have some high hopes and expectations for Keegan Murray, higher than maybe you thought. We'll get to that coming up at 4 o'clock. As I said before the break, today is a notoriously dead day on the sports calendar. Day after the Major League Baseball All-Star game. There's no baseball. There's no NBA. There's no football. There's no college sports. You got the ESPYs. And that's it. That's what you got if you're a sports fan. But we did get some news as to some things that maybe you could tune into if you're a sports fan. Coming up soon, at least, NFL and NFL Films have selected the New York Jets to serve as this year's team on Hard Knocks. Per sources, they report to training camp already 1 week from today, and the cameras will be rolling in full force. Now, their head coach, Robert Saleh, he has not been shy in saying this is not something that he wants.
I haven't gotten word or anything like that. I know there's several teams that would love for Hard Knocks to be in their building. We're just not one of them.
That was about a month ago, Henry. And then this was Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk, basically affirming what we know, which is that the Jets are being forced into this TV production.
The bar is high for Hard Knocks now that we know that it will be the New York Jets for the first time since 2010. They were one of the 4 teams that could not deny the assignment, even though they clearly didn't want to do it, and they still don't want to do it. But they have been told they are doing it. It's really the first time that a team that didn't want to do it is being told they have to do it. There's always been someone willing, whether it was one of the teams that could be told to do it said they will, or some other team from off the board wanted to do it. First time in the history of the series where someone is being told, with the use of this formula league created within the past 10 years or so, of who can be compelled in any given year to do it, that they are actually compelling someone to do it.
I don't know if that says that just nobody else wanted it, because as you said, there were 4 teams that had no say, and I forgot exactly what the rules were. I know first-year head coach, if a team has a first-year head coach, they can outright deny
make the playoffs.
Make the playoffs the year before.
Had not been on it within the last 2 years or something like that.
Yeah, that was the other one. So there were a few criteria, and 4 teams fit the criteria where the NFL could tell you, no, you're going to be on Hard Knocks whether you like it or not, and the Jets were one of them. I don't know if this says that nobody wanted it, and so they picked the Jets out of the 4 teams that they could, or if they genuinely think like this is going to make that good of TV with Aaron Rodgers and everything else that goes into it. Yes, darkness, as we know it.
That just goes to show where entertainment has taken its head to. I understand head coaches and general managers, they're like this. We're not trying to turn our TV into the Housewives of Atlanta. We're not trying to do reality TV here. We're
Still
trying
in the
to
Bravo
win.
Cinematic Universe.
We're trying to win a championship, and all of a sudden now you guys got all these cameras around and turning it into Big Brother. We got other things that we have to worry about. So I understand what organizations like, no, we don't want to do this, because it's definitely going to put, I'm not going to say a black eye, but these guys are going to be kind of performing for the camera, because everybody knows if you can make that right look in the camera, that can take you other places.
Oh yeah, Chad Johnson coined a few catchphrases in his that ended up being merchandise. You know what I mean?
It's
in his time on Hard Knocks, Darrelle Revis was a huge star on Hard Knocks. There have been guys who've certainly cashed in on this thing. I'm a fan of the show, Henry. I don't have to deal with it, but it really is. It's unique to others. Like in baseball, there might be a few roster spots up for grabs. You know what I mean? And guys are going to get cut or sent back to the minor leagues. Basketball, you pretty much know the roster when everybody reports to camp. In the NFL, the way, and they've changed it actually, but the way that cuts are staggered and the way that the news is broken to these guys, you said Real Housewives, it almost has like a bachelor or bachelorette feel to it. You know what I mean? Of who's going to get the rose that gets to go on and play for the pro team. Right. In this, it's who's going to get to keep their playbook. You know what I mean? And not have to turn it into the coach in his office.
And it's all about the voyeurism of the fan.
It is.
It's all about trying to bring the fan closer to the professional sport. All right. Because just the average Joe Schmo don't know what it's like to be in the locker room. Right. Don't know what it's like to be in practice every single day. Don't understand that process of it. And they want to try to make it mainstream to where everybody can see it. But while doing that, the ones that are going through it are the ones that are suffering, because it's like you also have to put on a show.
How do you think it would affect you in the locker room? Would you be the guy looking for the camera if you were part of a Hard Knocks type of thing?
I'll tell you this. It depends upon where I'm at in my career.
Sure.
Because, if you're looking for a career after your career, oh, yeah, I'm putting on the show. y'all gonna love me. Believe me, I'm gonna be the one. I'm gonna be Nene Leakes, or I'm gonna be somebody else that's gonna get my own spinoff to next year.
Yeah, I'm not playing. I'm watching.
I'm for real about my cheese, baby. We're gonna make this work.
Another thing, maybe to check out, and this is already out there. You're gonna have to wait a week for Hard Knocks, but this was released on Netflix today, as they've gotten fully into the sports documentary series. It started with that F1 series that they were doing.
I like that.
Then they had the golf one, the Full Swing, I think that's what it's called. Yeah, Full Swing. I'm looking at it right now. And the newest one is going to be Quarterback. It's an 8-episode Netflix doc focusing on NFL quarterbacks, specifically Patrick Mahomes, Kirk Cousins, and Marcus Mariota. I get the
last year.
Okay, yeah,
because he was starting for the Falcons.
Yeah. Right. And a lot of people are saying, which by the way, that may be. We were talking about getting cut, getting released, and like the inherent like voyeuristic angle of that, of watching that part of the game, or behind the scenes part of the game. Marcus Mariota might have the most interesting storyline as this thing plays out over the course of 8 episodes, because he got benched, left the team, didn't come back. So there's a little bit of drama there. But what I'm hearing, and I'm surprised by this, that the breakout star in this thing, a lot of people have seen it, critics, etc., is Kirk Cousins of the Minnesota Vikings. That he comes off very likable, very, very, very down to earth and relatable. A lot of stuff at their home life, and he's a very devoted dad. I think that's what a lot of people are grabbing onto.
That's the good part of it. Those are the good things about, having these cameras in and going in and doing these documentary type things. I tell you what, I'm a big race advocate, so I definitely love the F1 that they did. Yeah? Oh, no doubt, because it definitely
got a lot of people into the sport.
Yes, and it showed that you're just not a race car driver. Basically, you are an athlete to be able to deal with the G's and the forces, everything that it takes. And then your mind and your eye has to be so sharp, because you're coming up on those corners so fast that you almost have to be a freak of nature to be an F1 driver.
No, you do.
I respect what they do and how they get down.
Their reflexes and their endurance, their stamina.
Hey, at 200 miles an hour.
Yeah.
At 200 miles an hour, and you're strapped in this car, and you have to think and be quick on that type of level. Yeah, you part mutant.
I think I'm gonna check out this quarterback show though. I mean, what else? What else am I doing tonight? You know what I mean? Jay, you in?
Anything else but that.
Henry, you in? You watching? No? Okay.
You know what? Me and Jay going in and out, man, because I'm starving. I'm about to give me a double with all the grilled onions and all the fries. You can give me.
I don't even eat beef, but I'm going to be there with HT watching in and out before I watch Patrick Mahomes and them get down.
That's the high flyer, Henry Turner. You know the other voice, Double J, Jay Johnson on the other side of the glass. I'm Ramie Makloff. Right after this, some folks in the Kings organization have set a high bar in terms of their expectations for Keegan Murray.
We're talking about Keegan
Murray.
It's Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Would you want LeBron and Bronny here?
You can't say no. Like, you just can't.
I know. I'll say it.
Why? You go.
It would be a joke. It would be a disaster. A guy playing with his kid. You're not going to
a guy playing with his kid?
That's what it is. It's what it boils down to.
Yeah, they're taking over the team.
They're not taking over my team.
That is how that works. They are definitely taking over the team.
It's Whitey and Watkins from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Sactown Sports.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
The story of the nurse and the foot pain that nearly brought him down.
I feel like I'm giving people their lives back.
Robert lived to take care of his patients, but he couldn't do it unless he took care of his foot pain.
I have plantar fasciitis. It'll almost put you on your knees. That's how much it hurts.
His own recovery started when he got fitted for arch supports at the Good Feet store.
Now that I'm pain free, I can make these people feel better.
Can't beat that. Stop by or schedule your free fitting at goodfeet.com. The universal truth of women's shoes. The cuter they are, the more they hurt.
You have to put your best foot forward, and if your best foot is an ugly shoe, oh my goodness.
Lise Ann thought she had to choose between looking good and feeling good until she got fitted for arch supports at the Good Feet store.
Now I can wear the shoes that I've picked out because I like the way they look, not because they were comfortable.
Good Feet relieved her pain and her fashion dilemma. Stop by or schedule your free fitting at goodfeet.com.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
Are you ready for an incredible pre-owned blowout at Elk Grove Kia? Elk Grove Kia has got you covered with over 300 used cars, SUVs, vans, and trucks available. Every single one of our vehicles has gone through an extensive 150-point inspection, so you can buy with complete confidence. We stand by our cars and offer a bring-it-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, simply return it. Worried about your credit? Don't be. At Elk Grove Kia, we have 100 years of combined experience in helping our customers get the best financing options available. Charge-offs, repossessions, foreclosures, bankruptcies, no problem. Our team specializes in finding solutions for every credit situation. But before you even step foot in our dealership, let us show you what we can do for you. Give us a call or visit our website, and our dedicated team will work with you to find the perfect vehicle and the best financing options. Elk Grove Kia is your destination for incredible pre-owned deals. Visit us today at Elk Grove Kia or check us out online at elkgrovekia.com.
Turn your highway into a smile way. Elk Grove Kia.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Take it on the local level.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines. I'm Simone with your Sactown Sports headlines. Summer League continues to smolder in Las Vegas. However, Sacramento Kings stumble again, falling to the Chicago Bulls 107-99 last night. Despite the L, Sacramento native point guard Jordan Ford put on a show, racking up 25 points and 8 assists Tuesday. The Summer League Kings are back in action tomorrow. The critically acclaimed HBO docuseries Hard Knocks is heading to the Big Apple this summer, as the NFL has selected the New York Jets as the subject for the upcoming season. The New Look Green Gang will report to training camp on July 19th, with cameras up starting day one. And after 9 straight losses to the American League, the National League finally back in the win column last night for the 93rd Midsummer Classic.
The National League's finally back on top. Its first All-Star game win since 2012.
I'm Simone, now back to Sactown Sports.
We like the girls with the pumps in a back, pumps in a back, pumps in a back. We like the girls with the pumps in a back.
Your new home for 49ers football in the 916. Sactown Sports.
Hour 3 of the show this afternoon. Ramie Makhlouf with you. HT, the high flyer. Henry Turner in the co-host chair. Jay on the other side of the glass on the ones and twos. Simone on the updates. An update on Domas Sabonis and his hand. And has he had surgery or has he not? That's coming up at 4:15. But Henry, recently on Ryan Russillo's podcast, Chris Mannix of Sports Illustrated, friend of the show, he was talking about Keegan Murray, who impressed in the California Classic, impressed throughout the season, setting the rookie record for three-pointers by a rookie. But he said some stuff that took me aback as far as some folks' expectations for Keegan Murray.
They're just a big believer in
in what they're doing internally. They believe that internal growth next year is going to make them a better team. And there's reasons to believe that. I mean, it is the Sacramento Summer League, but man, Keegan Murray looked great in that brief period. And they look at him and they see a potential franchise player. I mean, they believe he's as good as anyone they have on their roster, including De'Aaron Fox, including DeMontis Sabonis. They believe he's that next star for their team. So if he takes a jump, that makes, an already really good team better next year. And
franchise player. As good, if not better, than Domas Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox. Number one option type of potential is what folks within the Kings, when he says they, he's talking about the Kings as an organization, what they see in Keegan Murray. 70 points in the 2 Cali Classic games that he played. Looks like he put on some weight. They said on the call, Kyle and Matt Barnes said on the call, he put on about 12, 13 pounds of muscle. We're on YouTube. Folks can see you rolling your eyes.
No, I mean, I honestly don't get into the poundage thing anymore. Kevin Durant shut that down for me.
Okay.
Kevin Durant couldn't bench press 135 pounds, but he said last time he checked the basketball wasn't that heavy. So, he proved us wrong with all of that. I'm not worried about, Keegan Murray and the muscle that he's put on, all about what he's doing out there, Ramie, as a basketball player. And I think the kid is very good. I think he has a very high ceiling. I hate when columns like that come out to where he gets a chance to see something like that, because Keegan Murray is not an alpha. Right now, he's not. He's a very good player with a very high ceiling. Okay. De'Aaron Fox didn't get to where De'Aaron is until last year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. De'Aaron Fox is a hell of a player. But we didn't see that the first 3 years De'Aaron was here in Sacramento. Just because you play pro basketball, it doesn't constitute you as a pro. You have to learn how to be a pro.
Mm-hmm.
Give this kid time to grow. Don't throw him automatically into, you're going to be the next All-Star, or you're going to be the next franchise player. Let that come. Let him develop. Now, I'm not saying he can't be that. I think his ceiling is very high. He's very talented. But don't throw that out there to where he starts to expect to be that guy. And then what happens, Ramie, when you don't live up to what people are putting out there about you?
I certainly think that's a factor with plenty of guys. Either they're reading their own headlines and they start to feel themselves a little bit too much, or they read it and they feel the pressure and the weight of those expectations, right, and they can crush them. A guy can go either way with that. With Keegan Murray, I don't get the impression that it'll go either of those directions. He seems very, 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 what's the word that I'm looking? Very focused.
He's a very humble guy.
Very humble, and he's just going to show up and go to work and do what he's got to do to get better every day.
And I will say this, knowing the guy's personality, okay?
Mm-hmm.
He isn't the type of guy that's worried about, his brand, and he isn't the guy that worries about, the outside, chirping. I think De'Aaron Fox did the best possible thing that he could have done as a captain. He took Keegan under his wing.
Yeah, they spent every day of the offseason.
All summer, he's been with
babysitting
De'Aaron Fox. Like I said, you have to learn how to be a pro. De'Aaron Fox is setting the presence with him, showing him how to be a pro. So I think he will definitely look at this exactly the way he should, as De'Aaron is the veteran, Sabonis is the veteran. I'm a big piece of the puzzle, but those guys are going to show me the way. Now, you let your play determine what your value is out there on the floor. Don't let what somebody else think and what they put out there in the media determine what you do and how you play on the floor.
He said that he and De'Aaron play one-on-one every day, and he hasn't beat him once yet. He hasn't beat De'Aaron Fox once yet in one-on-one.
You know what? And what you have to understand, too, is that everybody can't be an alpha. An alpha is someone that is very special.
Now, when you say that, are you talking about from a personality standpoint or from a game plan standpoint?
I'm talking about all of it.
Okay.
Alpha. Okay. And when I'm talking about alpha, I'm talking about guys like Michael Jordan. You got guys like Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, Magic Johnson. Some guys that are alphas, they do it with aggression, okay? You know, Shaquille O'Neal was aggressive alpha. Charles Barkley, an aggressive alpha. Now, Steph Curry, he's a nice alpha. He gets it done on a nice way. You know, Mitch Richmond was a nice alpha. He gets it done in a nice way. But they are guys that when you on the basketball floor, this is one of the best quotes I've ever heard from a basketball player, period. And I'll tell you who said it after I tell you. This guy said, I hate losing more than I like winning.
That was MJ, wasn't it?
No.
Oh.
Close to it.
Okay.
I hate losing more than I like winning. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It was Kobe Bryant. So that's the mentality every alpha needs to have.
I guess my question, and you pointed out a few of the guys that are more low key, that are more Keegan Murray, like the Tim Duncans, the Mitch Richmonds of the world. But can you be that, but still be your team's alpha in terms of the game plan and out on the court?
But you have to understand, Mitch Richmond is one of the greatest guys you can ever hang with. But Mitch is one of my greatest friends. But he would rather cut off his left arm than to lose. That's just how, in his mindset, he hates to lose. He's a different guy at losing. So to be an alpha, you really have to have that mentality. You know what? I'll do whatever. I'll go outside and bite the hindside of a dog to win.
Don't do that.
I'm just saying. Some of those guys did not care.
He's not saying. And by the way, you can get in on the discussion. Do you see number one potential in Keegan Murray?
I do.
Text 916-339-1140, 800-920-1140. He's not saying now. He's not saying they see that in him now.
Right.
He's saying they see that in him down the road somewhere.
And that's exactly my point. I see it. I see the potential in this young man, but let him grow into that.
Sure.
I'm like, don't put that on his back right now. You know, I've been in the locker room. I've been in the situations to where when you all of a sudden get that pressure on your back, you know, I really think it's asinine when teams draft these young players, they bring them in, you do a year in college, you come out, lottery pick, your lottery, you hit the NBA, and then all of a sudden the franchise says, we need you to play Herculean or we don't win.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of young players, they can't live up to that. The young players that go on to where their game grow and grow and grow and they get better are guys that come to teams that have solidified veterans that say, look, let me show you how this is done. And you learn how to be a pro, and then your game does what it does once you hit the floor.
He certainly, and it's a whole different ball game, literally, once you get to the real thing, and it's not the Cali Classic or the Las Vegas Summer League. But he looks comfortable being the center of a game plan in those situations when it calls for it. And again, the competition goes up. He has to defer to the De'Aaron Foxes and the Domantas Sabonises on his team. But somewhere down the road, it looks like he is comfortable with being that number one. He doesn't shy away from being that number one option for his team.
And let me tell you, that's what those two games were all about. Those two games were like, Keegan, you're Batman. Go out there and show us what you have. And he did. He went out, he showed up, and he showed out, and he let the Sacramento Kings, that's where all this notion is coming from now. He let the Sacramento Kings know, I can handle this number one spot if need be when I need to have the spot giving to me.
And the wild thing about
or he takes the spot.
The wild thing about it, and the first time I ever talked to you, Henry, was last year NBA draft, right outside of Golden One Center. And the craziest part about all this, that they think he has superstar potential and number one potential, is that leading up to the draft, and I'm sure we talked about it that day, all of it's a blur. It was very hot out that day. But one of the things that we heard was high floor, low ceiling. When they talked about the Jaden Ivies, the Shaden Sharps, they talked about how high those guys' ceilings were, how much potential they had. Keegan Murray was like the safe guy, NBA ready guy, but lower ceiling. If he's as good as Chris Mannix is saying some folks in the Kings organization think he is, that totally blows that scouting report out the water if he's a number one type of guy.
You know what? once you had a chance to see Keegan Murray and see him, now they see him every day in practice. A lot of us don't get a chance to just watch him on a day-to-day. But from what I hear and what I get grumblings about, this young man does stuff in practice that's not rookie-like. And these are the guys who really get a chance to evaluate him. Of course, we see him in game type situations. Yeah. And like you said, he defers to Domas, he defers to De'Aaron Fox. But in practice, sometimes it ain't no deferring. It's all about me and I'm getting mine. And they say that he has that mentality. He has that little, that little edge to him.
I like that. I want to see more of that.
No, I do too.
As he grows into this league.
Once he start getting more of that, you start looking at him as more of an alpha than a guy that's just a complimentary player. You look and say, whoa, okay, wait a minute. Maybe he can be that guy. But what I'm saying is, Ramie, give him time to show you that he can do it. Just don't throw it all on him right now.
The other part of this is if this indeed is how it plays out and years down the road, he's the number one guy in Mike Brown's game plan. How do De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis react to that? Are they going to be okay deferring to him or taking a back seat to him?
I tell you what, the game evolves. It's all about this. At the end of the day, Father Time is undefeated. You're going to have to coincide to somebody that's going to step up and be an alpha. You're not going to be a number one your whole career. I'm sorry. You're just not. So you're going to have to, bow down and let somebody come in and take over after a while.
We got to hit a quick break. We'll keep it Kings after this with Henry Turner, the high flyer, in the co-host chair this afternoon. An update on Domas Sabonis and his broken thumb, and then an update on that update. I'll explain right after this.
The Kings are running it back.
Hammers it off the dribble against Gobert, and he was fouled. Oh, my, what a take that time by Domantas Sabonis, and eludes Gobert. That's strong. Two-hand flush off the dribble, thrown down by Trey Lyles.
And welcoming some new faces.
Yes. Toby Jones with 2 more. Now they go to Duarte in the corner for 3, and he rains it down.
Keep it locked on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for the latest Kings news.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa."
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist. Ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Calling all kids. It's Kids Cheer Free all summer long. Beginning Sunday, May 28th, bring your kids ages 14 and under to the ballpark on Sunday home games for free. After cheering on your green and gold, race around the bases with Stomper on the same field that your favorite A's players do. Get your tickets now at athletics.com/kidsfree. That's athletics.com/kidsfree.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sactown Sports.
She kissed me.
Frank Sinatra
like
for you.
Fella
Blue
once
Eyes.
said,
Oh, yeah.
Ain't that a
Is this Dean
kick
Martin?
in the head?
I know what I'm talking about. Dean Martin for you on a Wednesday afternoon. Not Blue Eyes. Really? I could have sworn this is Frank Sinatra.
Green eyes.
Brown eyes.
Coming up, have we filled you in on draft mockery? You know, do you know what draft mockery is? Coming up at 4:45, and we just take a random topic and have a draft.
Okay.
So today, as we talked about earlier, it's the worst day on the sports calendar. It's the deadest day. So Jay had a great idea. We're gonna draft the worst days of the year. The worst days of the year.
Oh, okay.
It's what we're going to draft coming up at 4:45.
Wow.
So you might want to start assembling your draft board during the commercial breaks, because I got one, and it's extensive. It's extensive. There's some terrible days, terrible days on the calendar. That's coming up at 4:45. But this morning, thanks to our Kings insider, Frankie Cardicelli, check out his work, including this story I'm about to read from at SactownSports.com. We had learned, or at least we thought we had learned, that Domas Sabonis had undergone surgery for the thumb that he fractured during the season. And this was according to Lithuanian national team head coach Kazis
Come on, get it out.
Moxvitis. Kazis Moxvitis. I'm going
there
with
we
it.
go.
Sabonis underwent surgery to repair his right thumb after playing through most of the season with an avulsion fracture. Easy for me to talk. And this was a quote from Moxvitis. The main reasons behind Domas's availability this summer was his contract and health. He tried to recover without surgery, but it didn't work, and he lost time. After the surgery, everything takes longer. He apologized for not coming and promised to be available next summer. So the Lithuanian coach saying he's not going to be a part of the FIBA tournament this offseason because he's undergoing surgery. But as we were sitting here,
did he say surgery?
Yeah, he said that he opted for surgery. That's what the coach had told him. But according to multiple people, KCRA's Michelle Dapper, Sean Cunningham, Jason Anderson, James Ham, everybody on the Kings beat now saying that league sources confirm, this is from Michelle's tweet, Domas did not have surgery on his thumb. He has been following a strict rehab protocol and was unable to play for the Lithuanian national team this summer because of that. So we thought he was having surgery. Apparently he is not having surgery. I don't know what to make of all this, but go ahead.
From what they were saying when he first got the injury, is that it was one of those things to where you can have surgery and have it repaired, but it also be one of the things to where you can get a hit again and it would snap back out and be what it's going to be.
Right.
You know, Keegan Murray had the exact same thing, and you know, Keegan's been fine. So is this one of those things to where, okay, you know, how high is your pain threshold?
Yeah. He said this was a quote from the coach. He tried to recover without surgery, but it didn't work, and he lost time. After the surgery, everything takes longer. I'm wondering if did Domas call in sick to work for the FIBAs, and now he's getting dimed out?
Wow.
Coach, I can't play. I had surgery on the thumb, you know, and I just haven't recovered yet. And now the Kings are like, no, he didn't. He didn't have surgery. That's what I'm wondering. If that's what happened here.
Somebody posted a picture of him playing PlayStation today. Pressing the X button.
I don't know if he needs it or not. I told you earlier I didn't play professional sports. I also am not a doctor, Henry. I know that might shock you to learn that. I don't know. I don't know if he needs the surgery or not, but I for one am glad that he's not playing in the FIBA World Cup. I'm always 100% of the time against these guys. And you played internationally, you played overseas.
Yeah.
I'm against these guys going and playing in these international competitions in the off season. I'm a big believer that it's not necessarily your age, it's the miles that you put on your legs and on your body. And I don't want you going out there and risking injury when you just signed a $145 million contract.
I'm with you on that 100%. And but what you have to understand is these guys grew up playing for their countries. And it's kind of like us going to the Olympics. If I had an invite to go to the Olympics to represent my country, I'm going, because, you know, it's one of the biggest things that you can do as a patriot. But, you know, those are the things that they have grown up doing, playing for their country. So I understand the guys that want to go, and I understand the guys that want to play. But then again, at the end of the day, we go back to it. You know, what side of the bread your butter's on?
Mm-hmm.
And Sacramento's giving you a whole lot of bread. So you go have to put Sacramento first before you start thinking about your country. And that's kind of tough when you're a player that has been brought up years and years and years. Your country is number one to you.
Yeah. And I'd seen a report earlier that when we thought that he had surgery, that it was the timeline was unclear as to whether or not he would be ready for the season. That raised an eyebrow for me, like, oh, you might be without Domas for part of the regular season. But outside of that, I look at this as a positive development. And I'm sure as long as you played, you've had some injuries. And right. I've heard athletes talk about, say you're a baseball player and you get an arm injury. The time that you spend off the field rehabbing that arm injury, what a lot of these guys realize is, oh, my legs are fresher. While I was recovering this arm thing, my legs were fresher. I think you're going to get a fresher Domas Sabonis next season with him not playing this international competition in the offseason.
Yes, miles is definitely a concern. I don't care where you put the miles on. You know,
Right.
if you put the miles on in the United States or if you put the miles on in Lithuania at the FIBA Cup, it's still miles on your body. I definitely believe that, you know, with him not playing and him getting the legitimate rest,
Right.
because it could be a situation of this is basketball. It's a contact sport. So can you imagine him going to play in the FIFA Cup and his finger feels fine, and all of a sudden he takes a hard whack? And we're talking about Sabonis, a guy who plays very physical. You know, he takes a hard whack on that finger, and now it sets him back to day one. And now we're talking about, well, the Kings have preseason in a week.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden it sets you back in your King season. So I see why he's electing not to go.
Called in sick.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Hey, coach, I had surgery, you know? And I remember Luka last year, he referenced this when people were talking about how he has a tendency to wear down at the end of seasons. He has a tendency to sort of save some energy on the defensive side of the floor. And he was like, hey guys, I'm playing 25, 30 games in the offseason for my national team. And I saw that quote and I was like, you could not do that. So you're ready for a whole season with the Dallas Mavericks. You know what I mean?
But it's that situation.
I know.
These are the guys that first of all these guys that's on these national teams, you grew up with them since you were kids.
Right.
All of you guys have played together forever. And then all of a sudden you get to your highest stage, because like Sabonis in the NBA, some of those guys are still playing in Europe. You get to the highest level, and now all of a sudden you don't want to come help us try to win.
And people are like, oh, you're too good for us now.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
You're going to have to face that
Right.
part of it. And, you know, it's kind of a catch-22, but once again, you know, I'm walking in Wells Fargo. I'm sorry. I got to go over here.
They got a desk for me over here.
Yeah, you go over here, you go over there and
stand in that line. I got to cash this check right here. Right after this, a guy who cashed some big old checks, Barry Bonds.
Woo.
He's chiming in on the Hall of Fame issue again. We'll hear that next.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Cal Ripken in 2001 won the MVP there. Yeah, and then he hit the home run. I think it was off a Dodger Chan Ho Park, if I remember right.
There's no way Chan Ho Park was in an All-Star game. If he was, that's
okay. Kyle, Zeus, if my man, I feel like it's. I could be
Chan Ho
wrong.
Park was a 2001 All-Star for the Dodgers.
Bro. No, Chan Ho Park sucked.
Well, Cal Ripken hit it out of Chan Ho Park.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
Sacramento, get ready for the launch of Flex Power Tools at Fasteners Tool Outlet. Come on down this Saturday, July 15th for a one-day Flex Tool launch party. Witness live demos, score unbeatable deals on all Flex products, and get a free 3.5 amp hour 24-volt battery with every kit purchase. Grab a rear handle saw kit with a free 10 amp hour battery for just $299. Power up with Flex at Fasteners Tool Outlet. Don't miss it this Saturday, July 15th at 6701 Power Inn Road. For more info, visit fastenersinc.net.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better, and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
PGA.com reported that no matter how long you've played golf, you've found things that annoy you on the course. Here's their top 9 pet peeves. Number 9, do you think I can hit yet guy? He hit his tee shot 200, but he's waiting for the green to clear from 250. 8 is where's the beverage card guy who always need more aiming fuel? 7 is the since I'm not playing well, I'm going to complain about everything. 6, leave the green messy guy who refuses to fix a ball mark, spit sunflower seeds, and tap cigar ashes on the green. 5 is the member who acts like he owns the course guy. He's no favorite of the superintendents. Then there's the 1 second, let me count my strokes guy. If you've hit that many shots, just pick it up. 3 is the oblivious to open holes in front and people on our tail guy. 2 is the cell phone talker guy. Hey, we're playing golf here. And number 1 is the good Lord, they're pairing a woman with us guy. While these guys are looking in the woods for a ball, the lady is kindly waiting in the middle of the fairway. What are your pet peeves? That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Attention home services contractors who want to grow their business with more leads while leveraging their marketing costs to receive over 10 times the value in advertising. Subcontractors United is offering 40 home services contractors from architects to landscapers to participate in our advertising co-op. For less than $2,100 per month, you'll share in over $83,000 a month in advertising. That's $1 million a year in advertising for under $2,100 a month. And because there's only 3 subcontractors per category, not 3,000, your lead potential is unlimited. Generate more leads than you ever thought possible. Be one of only 3 subcontractors in a category and receive $1 million a year in advertising by leveraging the power of a united group. That's subcontractorsunited.com or Google Subcontractors United for more information. But hurry, categories are filling up.
Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street, right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Sactown Sports
Headlines. I'm Simone with your Sactown Sports headlines. Summer League continues to smolder in Las Vegas. However, Sacramento Kings stumble again, falling to the Chicago Bulls 107-99 last night. Despite the L, Sacramento native point guard Jordan Ford put on a show, racking up 25 points and 8 assists Tuesday. The Summer League Kings are back in action tomorrow. The critically acclaimed HBO docuseries Hard Knocks is heading to the Big Apple this summer, as the NFL has selected the New York Jets as the subject for the upcoming season. The New Look Green Gang will report to training camp on July 19th, with cameras up starting day 1. And after 9 straight losses to the American League, the National League finally back in the win column last night for the 93rd Midsummer Classic.
The National League's finally back on top. Its first All-Star game win since 2012.
I'm Simone, now back to Sactown Sports.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sactown Sports.
That's what you're listening to. Ramie Mackloff with you every weekday afternoon. Rotating co-hosts in the chair this week. Henry Turner, the high flyer, flying alongside me this afternoon. Jay on the other side of the glass. Draft mockery. Drafting the worst days on the calendar coming up at 4:45. For me, one of the best days on the calendar is every year when I hear that Barry Bonds did not get into the Baseball Hall of Fame. That's
he hated.
Man.
You hated from the third row.
Oh, chef's kiss every year when I hear Barry Bonds did not get the necessary amount of votes to get into the Baseball Hall of Fame. I'm just not here to celebrate frauds and cheaters. It's just not something that I do. And obviously Bonds has an issue with that, and he went to the Everybody Has a Podcast. This is host Stephen Bishop. Oh, and former ball player Jerry Hairston Jr. I know Jerry Hairston Jr. Good dude. On the Hollywood Swingin' podcast, Bonds opened up about the whole Hall of Fame situation, and he says, I don't even know why we're doing this. I've been vindicated.
It's a little bit of both. Okay, so honestly, it's a little bit of both. Yeah, does it bother you? Sure, I'm human. I'm not some wall sitting over here don't care. Sure, it bothers you, but at the same time, I also don't know who I am. And the thing is that people have to understand something. Is that the fact of is that I was vindicated. I went to the court. I was in federal court, and I won my case 100%. Where is the vindication of me in my own sport?
And
that's what bothers me.
I've made this case before. He won in court. The court of public opinion is not a court of law. You know what I mean? And the court of law can't go by common sense. You know what I mean? They can't just go on logic and connecting the dots, but I can. And Major League Baseball, well, it's not Major League Baseball. It's just the Baseball Hall of Fame. The writers who vote on it, or the Veterans Committee that votes on it, they have the right and the freedom to look at the facts and go, I know what went on here, and I don't think this guy deserves to be in the hall. Pointing to what happened in a court case, for me, does nothing to say that you've been vindicated and that you deserve vindication in your own sport. I know what happened. We all know what happened, Henry. I don't care what happened in a court case.
It's tough to try to take something from a court case and then try to go with something that's public opinion.
Right.
Because when you have a court case, it's a case of reasonable doubt.
Exactly.
You can get off on reasonable doubt.
Right.
And you can miscrew that any way you want to. But the way you're publicly accessed is that it's what these people think about you as a whole. And they can think whatever they want. And it's guys having a vote. So whether they had a reasonable doubt to say you won, like you said, it's more guys like you out there that's saying, yeah, but still, once a cheater, always a cheater.
Yeah, right. We all, man, there's a whole book laying out what you did and how you did it. Now, he's not the only cheater out there. I understand that. Sure. I know that. And Bonds talked about that and said, this just isn't fair, what they're doing to me.
Well, let's get this clearly and straight. Had a rule and has rules. Okay? Whether they were broken or not broken, there were rules, some rules. In my era, there was no rules. In the era, they changed the rules in 2003 or 2004, whenever the rules started to change, there was rules. There are some people that were convicted of those rules during the case of those rules. Well, Major League Baseball said if you did X, you were suspended for X. The athlete was suspended for X. That means he missed time in baseball. He was punished for that. His numbers still are the same, but based on what he's accomplished, that does not prevent him from the other part of for getting into the Hall of Fame. It has nothing to do with it. If Major League Baseball has punished you for whatever mistakes you made, whether you hit a pitcher, hit a person, you missed 5 games, or was performing enhancing drugs, you missed 50 games, or whatever that is, Major League Baseball already punished you for those stints. Why is Hall of Fame punishing you? Doesn't make sense. It makes zero sense that you're being double punished for something that you've already been punished for.
It makes zero sense what he's saying. Right there. You know what I mean? Yeah, the punishment is the suspension, and we need to make this clear. Major League Baseball and the Baseball Hall of Fame, different entities. Major League Baseball has nothing to do with the Baseball Hall of Fame. It's its own independent entity. And so when he says, why are they punishing me again? It's a different group of people that are quote unquote punishing him. And also the Hall of Fame it's a celebration. It's an acknowledgement of what you did on the field, and that suspension and the evidence that led to that suspension is what has people questioning the validity of what you did on the field. And that's why you're not getting in the Hall of Fame.
The cool thing about the Barry Bonds situation is that, and he said it, he wasn't the only one.
Sure.
He was just the one that got caught. All right. And then I look at it like this too. For what Barry Bonds done, and they're talking about the steroids, the enhancements, and all the other things, that had nothing to do with you hitting that ball. I mean, that was just his talent of being able to hit a baseball. Now, it had a lot to do with how far you hit it.
Okay, fair. Okay, all right. Okay, I was about to push back, but that's fair. Yeah.
I'm saying, you could be the Incredible Hulk out there. If you can't hit it, it makes no difference. So, steroids have nothing to do with making your eye good enough to where you can hit that ball. Now, it will make you hit it over the fence. But still, all in all, man, it's going to be apples and oranges. It's all going to be about the perception of who's making the rules and who's making the votes, whether you're going to be able to make it or not. I think the guy's a Hall of Famer. I really do.
I don't know where you fall on it, Jay, but the argument that he's not the only one, that everybody else was doing it, my pushback on that is
it makes no difference. He was just the one that got caught.
But it's not
one of the ones.
One of the ones who got caught. The problem is not, in my eyes, if we're talking about what's right and what's just when it comes to the Hall of Fame, the problem is not that Barry Bonds is not in there. The problem is that there are PED users that are in there. You know what I mean?
That's the thing.
The people look at it and go, well, he got in. Why shouldn't he get in? And what you should be saying is, why did that guy get in? Why is David Ortiz in the Hall of Fame? That's what we should be taking issue with. Well, not the fact that the cheater is not in, or Sammy Sosa, or Mark McGwire, or Roger Clemens.
Did they get caught?
Yeah.
Yeah, David Ortiz did.
David Ortiz is on a list.
Okay, well, that's the thing right there. Now I'm with Barry. It's like, okay, if he got caught doing the exact same thing and he got in, why doesn't Barry get in?
And I think, honestly, and everybody looks at me like I'm crazy when I say this, we need to start taking people out of the Hall of Fame.
Man, trying to
remove them from the Hall of Fame.
So if we caught you doing something now, go ahead and remove that jacket out. Yeah,
yes.
Okay. And that bust.
Yeah, remove the bust.
Man, you know what, though?
Take down the flag.
Hey, he knocking down all the statues.
Yeah. you like Reggie Bush. I need your Heisman. I don't care if you want it, OJ. I need your Heisman. Yeah.
He knocking down all the statues.
You know, the Bonds thing is always controversial, of course. It's always going to be an argument until he gets in one way or another. It's kind of the Pete Rose situation for me. I mean, with my eyes, Barry Bonds is a Hall of Famer. We can all agree to that.
No doubt.
I'm dude is one of the best players to ever play the game. He's not the best. I'll argue that because I always say the one thing Bonds did not do is he didn't play top-notch defense all the time. He took a lot of games off. Mm-hmm. He took a lot of times, you know, as I always point to Giants fans and supporters, let's not forget you guys was throwing batteries at Barry Bonds at one point in time in the left field. So let's keep that a buck now. But the one thing for Bonds for me is most people always argue about the popularity contest for Bonds, right? He's not popular. And he said he had an opportunity. If you do have a chance, go, listen to the podcast. He said that he did learn. And of course, as we get older, we get wiser, hopefully. He learned from the situations. He could have handled situations a lot better. He could have spoke to more media, shook hands, kissed the babies, right, those type of things. And he did say, he is friends with a lot of guys he wasn't friends with then, meaning when he was playing compared to now media. And for me, the toughest part is you either, like you were saying, Ramie, and I think this is kind of where you're going. You're more of the purist when it comes to Hall of Fame, not baseball, but Hall of Fame. If you're going to do that, then there's a lot of guys, as you said, we have to just chop off at the legs.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a bunch of the Ty Cobbs, and I'm gonna throw another one out there because I always advocate.
Pen. I'll work on it.
Yeah, I advocate for this. If you did not play against everyone, meaning African Americans, Cubans, Dominicans, those type of players like the almighty Babe Ruth, then you shouldn't be considered to be the greatest either, though. And again, that's a lot of people's gonna argue me back. Well, that was just the way the game was at that point in time, but it didn't have to be. And that's what people are saying with Barry Bonds, and that's why I'll say it's always a tough thing, but. I mean, he's a Hall of Famer, Ramie. Can you agree to that on the field? The dude is a Hall of Famer.
His numbers are Hall of Fame numbers. Okay. There's no doubt about that. But there's a big, giant asterisk next to him. And for me, the very nature of the Hall of Fame, and I see Amy Bill is very upset with me on the YouTube page. She says, bro, how can you talk about the game without talking about him? It's not about cheating. It's about fame. I can tell you ain't from NorCal. My comments are directed towards this clown on the radio. Read the room. You're on a NorCal radio station. Well, if you're looking for somebody who's going to pander to you and tell you exactly what you want to hear, go to a different YouTube channel. I thought Barry Bonds was a cheater where I lived before, and I still think Barry Bonds is a cheater here. I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings.
What about Ryan Braun, since you're from up that way? Oh, okay, I just want to make sure we put that on.
Jay, I'm a lifelong Cubs fan. Ask me what I think about Sammy Sosa.
What do you think about Sammy Sosa, Ramie?
Shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame, and none of his numbers count or mean anything.
You know what? And I could ride with somebody like him because he's like, if you did, I don't care who you are, if you cheated, you don't deserve to be in the Hall.
Straight
I'm
up.
with that.
Yep.
I'm with that. I can ride with that. I respect it
what you're going with.
150%. But if some of those guys that are in the Hall, and I don't care what era they're in, if they cheated to get those numbers,
they
shouldn't be in there. Or if you don't take them out, don't crucify Barry Bonds for doing what he did.
But the first point,
I agree.
The first point that Amy made before,
Put them in first and then take them out at one Ramie when you find it.
The first point that Amy made before they resorted to name calling and insulting instead of having a decent adult conversation, which is what I hear a lot. Like, you can't talk about the sport of baseball in that era without talking about Barry Bonds. And the Hall of Fame is about documenting the history of baseball, which is true on some level. And if you want to put up some kind of plaque that lays out what Barry Bonds did and everything else that goes along with it, do it. If you want to put that up on display as part of the history of baseball, cool. But the whole process of putting somebody in the Hall of Fame, you're giving them a podium, you're going to put a crowd of people in front of them to clap and cheer them, you're going to make a bronze bust of this person that's going to live on forever. The very nature of it is a celebration of their career and what they did. And I'm not here to celebrate cheaters. I'm not here to celebrate black eyes on the game. You can document it without celebrating it.
No, I understand that, but I will say this. And this is in any sport. Any player that has basically revolutionized the game, changed the game for how it's played. I'm sorry, when you get guys like Barry Bonds, certain pitchers wouldn't even throw to Barry Bonds.
Yeah, true.
Okay? When you got guys like Deion Sanders, the 49ers, and I love them, would not even throw to Deion Sanders' side of the field because they were scared of him. Guys who revolutionized the game, come on, man, you have to.
We got to hit a quick break. On the other side, get into some draft mockery. Worst days on the calendar. That's next.
Need your Niners fix? Sactown Sports has you covered.
I'm not going to lie to you guys. I think Trey looks significantly better than he did last year. I really do. I think his confidence is there. I think that he's throwing really good passes. I mean, just watching him, he just looks so much more comfortable and confident in the pocket, and I really appreciate that from him, from all the work that he's put into it. He just looks like he's having fun, because when he's out there having a good time, it definitely brings up everyone around him.
Get all your 49ers coverage leading into the 2023 season at Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Mark Finan in the KCRA3 Weather Center. Skies will stay clear tonight. A Delta breeze will help to cool us down to the low 60s by morning. Tomorrow will be sunny and hotter than today with a high near 100. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA3 News and the KCRA3 app.
Shop Folsom Lake Kia for all your favorite models at low prices and payments, plus low finance rates and zero down deals with approved credit. Go see my friends at Folsom Lake Kia right here in Sacramento for over 20 years.
Right now at Wendy's, when you buy either a Dave's single, spicy chicken sandwich, medium frosty, or 10-piece nuggets, you can get another for just $1. Your dollar never tasted so good. So it's obvious what everyone will get, right?
Definitely nugs
Spicy
and
chicken
a frosty.
sandwich,
Dave's single and a frosty for me.
and a frosty. Okay, who said frosty and a frosty? Pick your obvious choice. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's, buy one, get one for $1.
Limited time only. Price of participation may vary. U.S. Wendy's, valid for item of equal or lesser value. Cannot be combined with a combo or any other offer.
Are you tired of your tee shots ending up in the adjoining fairway while the rest of your foursome is hitting it down the middle? Well, experts will tell you that being properly fitted for golf clubs will help you strike your drive center cut. The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio and its team of trained PGA professionals are ready to help you get rid of your banana balls and duck hooks. Hagen Oaks Indoor-Outdoor Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
Those stomach issues ruined your birthday.
You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa.
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
if these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist and ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Freshness made easy with Febreze Small Spaces.
Want continuous freshness that fights odors with no batteries and no outlets? Try Febreze Small Spaces. Ah, but what's a small space? To answer that, we brought in our lawyer.
Small spaces include, but are not limited to, bathrooms, closets, laundry room, kid room, pet corners, man cave, she sheds, most nooks, and all crannies.
There you go. Febreze Small Spaces is the world's most convenient. Febreze Small Spaces is super convenient and never stops freshening for 45 days.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters, right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with zero down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com. 0 down with approved credit.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
Top spot coming up at 5 o'clock. Talk about some of the bigger stories and topics that we've run throughout the show. For all of you just getting in your car who missed our hot takes earlier in the show. But right now, it's time for Draft Mockery. Every Wednesday at 4:45 we do this, and I explained this to you, Henry. We just take random things and draft them. It can be food, it could be sports related. Today, because it is notoriously a slow day on the sports calendar and, right. and a tough day for sports fans who, I don't know about you, I love going home at the end of a day of work and kicking my feet up and turning on a game, you know what I mean? And have some dinner. I love it when I have a game to go home to watch.
Number one thing to do.
Yes, sir. So today is a tough day for sports fans, but is it the worst day for sports fans or just the worst day in general? Today, we are drafting the worst days on the calendar in Draft Mockery. And today's, and this is totally random, HT. I'm sorry to do this to you, but you will be drafting last. It's a random drawing, and the order today goes Jay, myself, I'm Ramie Makloff, by the way, that's Henry Turner, Simone, who is at an undisclosed location. And then the high flyer, Henry Turner. Simone, where do can you tell us where we find you today? Did you go to the Apple Store? Do we got everything straightened out?
We've been back to the Apple Store for the third time this week, and I'm still unsuccessful with my phone. I am reporting from the Simone layer here. Okay. And yeah, we got a lot of work to do.
All right.
A lot of work to do.
All right. Well, let's get through this draft so you can get back to work on your phone, not on the show, but on your phone. And again, we're drafting the worst days on the calendar. Jay, you have the first pick. What is the worst day on the calendar for Double J, Jay Johnson?
Yeah, the worst and first day. No, I'm playing. The worst day for me. Man, there's some good ones. I have like 3 good ones. I'm hoping nobody takes. All right, I'm going for me. The worst day as a kid was the first day back to school. So it used to always be
I debated that
Labor Day, but now it's like in August. So first day back to school, and I'm also saying you can put the second day back to school worst day, because when you used to come back from winter break, you come back, you kind of look forward to looking, hollering at your partners and everything. And then the second day, like, I'm done with this. I'm over with it. So first day is school. Yeah.
Okay. For Jay.
That's
all
a
right.
good one.
For me, the worst day on the calendar is that first day, and it's the adult version of what Jay is saying.
Oh, I think you're going 1.5.
It's that first day you go back to work after Christmas.
Yeah, that was on there too.
You had a nice long break. You forgot your routine. Like you forgot your workday routine. You've just been eating and drinking and having fun with family and friends for a week or whatever it might be. And then you got to get your ass up early and alarm clock is going off and you got to go get back into your routine.
You cursing everybody.
Get back to work. Yeah, man, that's one of the worst days.
And stay on my boss.
Simone, what's your first pick in the worst day of the year calendar?
Gentlemen,
Draft.
I fear that this is probably going to be on your guys' board as well. I'm going to go ahead and take off the day after the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl, wow.
Yeah.
That
breaks
was
my
going
heart
that way.
every year. Maybe you're a little dehydrated. Maybe you're just sad to see it go, but that is absolutely...
That should be a holiday.
That should be a holiday.
None of us should be having to go to
Should
work.
be a floating holiday at this point. Yeah.
None of us should be having to go to work the day after the Super Bowl. Henry, what you got in your first ever draft mockery?
Got back-to-back.
All right.
Back-to-back,
You know
yes,
what?
sir.
Oh, I got back-to-back.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so mine's is almost close to yours.
Okay.
Mine's is December 26th.
Ooh.
It's the day after Christmas because, everybody in my family think I'm rich. So,
there's expectations.
I have to buy.
Right.
I have to buy all these huge gifts, and then I have to wrap them. So the next day, I spend all day cleaning up the house. Yeah. All this paper that it took me like 12 hours to wrap these gifts, and next thing I know, I got a big mound of wrapping paper that I got to take outside.
That recycle bin is looking real thick.
Henry, you're rich. Why don't you just pay somebody to wrap the presents?
I say they think.
I'm about to say, are we letting the cat out the bag? He ain't wrapping no presents.
No, I definitely wrap presents. Yes, I do. Okay.
What's your second pick?
And my second pick is the day after Thanksgiving.
Black Friday. That was on mine. Yep.
First of all, I get it in. Thanksgiving, I'm eating. And then Black Friday, I'm pretty much still full, but you want to get me up and make me go out and shop. Once again, they think I'm rich. I'm telling you, I need this job. Take me out and have to go shopping on Black Friday to where you don't even get the same discounts that you get on the internet anyway.
I'm not doing it. I ain't
Yeah,
going
right there.
No Black Friday
honestly,
at all for me.
I like the day after Thanksgiving because I'm not going shopping. I'm staying in my house all day while the rest of you kill each other and just enjoying
Traffic's
leftovers.
horrendous, though.
Just eating leftovers all day. Love it.
No doubt.
I love the day.
Are you a
after
shopper, Simone? You Black Friday, not to make, put you in that mode.
I'm a Thanksgiving baby. My birthday's around there. So I usually get all these free gifts and kind of Black Friday adjacent,
nice.
so I'm going out. Unfortunately, I do head out there. But
What's your second pick, Simone?
my next pick, I'm going to go ahead and take, I don't know whether or not to do the 3rd or the 4th of July because of the fireworks. That is definitely one of the worst days of the year.
Wow.
Yes.
All
I would
right.
say the 3rd of July just because at least we're all off. It's celebratory for the 4th of July, but the 3rd of July is messing me up because people are trying to get ready for the 4th of July. So
And
I'll take
everybody's-
the 3rd of July.
Look, man, I'm not a fan of fireworks in general, but like you want to have your fireworks shows for the whole community, do it. All these idiots lighting off fireworks in the sidewalk and in broad daylight. Like, what are you even lighting off fireworks in broad? You can't even see them.
2 days
I'm
later.
hoping as a society we can move
2
towards
months.
like the drones shows.
Yes,
and
thank
something
you.
That we can
I've
still
been
look
saying
at,
this. I've been
beautiful
saying
in the
this.
sky, but yeah, it terrifies my dog. Not a fan.
Right up.
Not a fan. 3rd of July.
Back around to me. I don't know. There's some technical term for it, and it's a moving day on the calendar every year. I hate daylight savings time.
I had that in mind. When you lose an hour, right?
I don't know who wants the sun to go down at 3:45 p.m., but whatever that day is, where we get the least amount of daylight, whatever that day is, I hate that day. I don't see the sun that day. I leave the studio and it's already pitch dark. I hate that day.
Fantastic.
I had that on mine. When you lose an hour, you're like going to sleep. lose an hour. But it's always on the opposite. You know, I've been at the club tonight, you know, tap dancing when that hour going on. You got like, oh, I got another hour. I'm in here.
It's still 2 a.m. Let's go.
All right. So for my back-to-backs, for me, it's not a big deal for me, but I know it pains a lot of people. I'm going tax day, April 15th.
Oh, that's a bad one.
A lot of people hate April 15th. You know,
that's a bad one, dude.
Especially when you got guys like Henry Turner, who's rich.
Yeah, whatever.
Just fall in line, Uncle Henry. Uncle Henry.
I feel you on that, though.
And then the other thing for me, two things, I guess. I don't think someone's going to take this one. So I'm going to go, this is kind of same situation. I love the summer, man. I am a Cali boy in and out, through and through, no matter what. The first day of fall, man. I hate when the summer ends.
I love the
Can't
fall.
stand it. Can't stand it.
Fall,
oh, y'all sick, man. I like hoodies and all, but that's not for me. I take the summer anytime, all the time, twice on Sunday.
All right, back around to me then. Is that right?
That's you.
I don't know what sweetest day is. I'll celebrate Valentine's Day all day. I'm a big old romantic.
Oh, man, that was on my list too.
Sweetest day, you're just trying to take my money. That's all you're trying. Let's celebrate love one day a year. You can't throw in a second Valentine's Day just because Hallmark wants to sell some more cards and chocolates and everything else. Stop with the sweetest day. It's not a real thing, and it's on my list.
Sweetest day? I've never even heard of such a thing.
Really?
Really? Yeah, it's a thing.
No.
Good, Simone. Good. I'm glad you haven't heard of it. Good for you.
Okay.
Wow. Paying a significant other to make you do it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
no
a
one's
good
taking
thing.
care of me on that day, I guess.
You're not
Whatever.
forcing anyone to get you stuff on that day, and that's a good thing. Simone, your final pick?
It's a great segue. I was going to say Valentine's Day. I
like Valentine's Day. I like it.
All of my restaurants are affected. I hate it. I hate the fake toys. I hate it.
Simone, you want to get married? I'm with that. I can take a female like you.
That's right.
Yeah, I love flowers. That can be year round, but no. We don't need Valentine's Day. No, thank you.
And Henry, you're closing it out.
You know what? Hey, Simone hit it. I'm going with Valentine's Day, man. Come on. First of all, men don't get nothing. You don't get anything.
Made up holiday, man.
And then here you go. Here's my dilemma. The high fly dilemma is like,
you're rich.
Every time I get something,
Henry,
the next year I have to up it.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah, man,
that is true. That's why you got to start low, baby.
Yeah, that's real.
Look, the first one you kill.
Start low.
No. See, this. I'm gonna give you a little game. The first one, HT, and you know this.
Okay.
You knock them out the box because you got to get them. You know, like I got you. Then the second year, baby, we just gonna celebrate. You know, I hooked you up last year. We gonna start low, then we build up.
Or how about I just get a new one every February? How about that? I'm just kidding, baby. I'm joking, sweetheart. I'm joking. I want dinner ready when I get home.
We're just having fun. We're just here having fun.
All these are jokes, baby.
That's all we're doing. So that's draft mockery. I really enjoyed that. That's our draft mockery for the day. The
April
worst
Fools
day
is terrible too.
That's a bad one. You can leave your comments over
9/11
at youtube.com/Sactown Sports if I didn't chase you off with my Barry Bonds opinion. Right after this, reset some of the big topics discussed on today's show. It's the top spot. It's coming up next.
Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Sinking, that's going to get down for a hit. Around third to score is Tony Kemp. And the A's have taken the lead. Edge of the track makes the catch. And the Athletics get a great win.
Sactown Sports, your weekend home for the Oakland A's.
Sactown Sports coverage of the Oakland A's is brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Wells Fargo lets you know where you stand with your FICO credit score. What if you knew where you stood with everything? Like your kids' friends.
Hey, boys. How do cows stay informed?
Dad, don't.
They read the Moo paper.
Mr. Otis, you're the funniest.
It's good to know where you stand. And when it comes to your FICO credit score, you can with a Wells Fargo account.
Visit wellsfargo.com/getfico to learn more. Terms and conditions apply. FICO is a registered trademark of Fair Isaac Corporation in the United States and other countries. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network. Well, when the A's took the shortstop Jacob Wilson from Grand Canyon in the first round of this year's draft, it meant the A's had drafted a shortstop from Thousand Oaks High in 2 of the last 3 first rounds, going back to 21 when the A's took Max Muncy. And now Wilson, coached by his dad, the former big leaguer Jack Wilson, in high school, taken by the A's 6th overall. Ken Korak here, introducing you to the Xfinity 10G network. Xfinity is undergoing a multi-year network evolution, giving you a powerful connection today while building toward a faster, more reliable tomorrow. The Xfinity 10G network gives you the fastest internet with even faster speeds rolling out all the time. You also get a consistent and reliable connection when everyone's online, even during peak hours. That's a home run. If you want to learn more, go online at xfinity.com/10G.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your flagship station for the Beam Team.
Should we light the beam? Light the beam, baby.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Simone with your Sactown Sports headlines. Summer League continues to smolder in Las Vegas. However, Sacramento Kings stumble again, falling to the Chicago Bulls 107-99 last night. Despite the L, Sacramento native point guard Jordan Ford put on a show, racking up 25 points and 8 assists Tuesday. The Summer League Kings are back in action tomorrow. The critically acclaimed HBO docuseries Hard Knocks is heading to the Big Apple this summer, as the NFL has selected the New York Jets as the subject for the upcoming season. The new look Green Gang will report to training camp on July 19th, with cameras up starting day 1. And after 9 straight losses to the American League, the National League finally back in the win column last night for the 93rd Midsummer Classic.
The National League's finally back on top. Its first All-Star game win since 2012.
I'm Simone, now back to Sactown Sports.
Only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
And Ramie Makloff with you for 4 of those hours, 2 to 6, every afternoon with a rotating panel of co-hosts this week. Kenny Thomas will be in the chair tomorrow. Today, another former King, the high flyer HT.
Uncle Henry
is sits flying along with us. How, you feeling good?
Oh, man, great.
Having fun? We having fun this afternoon?
Bro, I'm loving it, man.
Good. I told you yesterday when we talked on the phone. And I've told everybody who comes in here to work with me, number 1 objective, let's have some fun. If we're having fun.
You ain't told me that.
I tell you that all the time.
I'm just lying. I'm just checking.
Hey, you know what? I was cool with that. I appreciate the phone call, but I'm saying, that's the least you can do, man. Seeing earlier this year, you almost ran me over in the parking lot.
I was waiting for you to bring that up.
Don't think I'd have forgot about that.
I was waiting for you to bring that up. I didn't mean to.
Don't think I didn't forget about that.
I've apologized for that time and time again. And Henry, we started off the show. I haven't talked to you. I haven't heard from you since I almost hit you with my car. And
I'm scared.
Since the Kings season ended. Just your overall takeaway on the approach, the route that the Kings took this offseason since draft night and trading Rashawn Holmes and opening up some cap space. using that to bring back HB, to extend Domas, to bring back Trey Lyles, to bring in Vezenkov. They bring in Duarte from the Pacers, and they re-signed Alex Len. What was your overall takeaway from what the Kings did this offseason?
I like what they did because, it was a situation to where they didn't go out and make a big splash. They didn't get, the big name player. I think the Sacramento Kings believe in what they have. They just want to build and bring some pieces in because, those guys, they have something special. They have camaraderie. All those guys like each other. They have a great locker room. They trust in one another. So you really don't have to go out and bring that big name player in. They're going to have to make some tweaks. There's some things that the Kings definitely got to get better at, but I think they can do that within being in the household.
Were there any moves that you looked at via free agency or some of the trades that went down that you looked at it and you went, ooh, maybe wish we would have done that? I'll give you a hypothetical, not even a hypothetical. Brian Windhorst said that the Kings really wanted Chris Murray. They wanted to pair up the twin brothers, but when he got taken at 23, that's when they decided to make the trade to free up the cap space and do what they did. Better path for you, getting Chris Murray or what they've done with trading that pick and the money that was freed up?
Okay, I can see where they're going with that, trying to get him through the draft. Mm-hmm. I can see
any free agents or trades though that you saw go off the board and you're like that would have been a good fit and that's a good price.
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, the number one that jumped out there. I don't know about the price, but I'm thinking a fit. If you could have got a Bradley Beal to bring Bradley Beal here to put him at 2 with Malik Monk. And with De'Aaron Fox and have Malik Monk come off the bench, man, you got firepower at the 1-2. And then John Collins. I really thought that John Collins could have came here.
I brought that up to you earlier. Yeah,
John Collins could have came here and filled the void because he fills the void of another big guy. He can still stretch the floor, but he's much more of a defender. He's much more of a rim protector, much more of a rebounder. I think he could really help the Sacramento Kings in that aspect.
That was the one to me that stood. I told you that earlier in the show. All the other moves, Kuzma and Draymond and Dylan Brooks and all these guys that went off the board. I went, would I take player X at price X or would I take Harrison Barnes at $18 million a year? And in most cases, the answer came back Harrison Barnes.
People are so high on Draymond Green. I like Draymond Green, but Draymond Green is a perfect fit for Golden State. If you take Draymond Green and put him anywhere else, he's not going to be that effective because he don't have option 1, 2, and 3 around him to be that effective.
You said they believe in themselves when talking about the path that the Kings took this offseason and how they decided to spend their money and their assets, and that belief in themselves and that they can improve from within. I think that starts with a Keegan Murray and Chris Mannix. He was on, who was it?
Ryan Russillo.
Ryan Russillo's podcast, as I pull it up, and it's right in front of me. And he says that some of those expectations inside the organization and that belief in Keegan Murray, maybe even higher than what a lot of us thought.
They're just a big believer in what they're doing internally. They believe that internal growth next year is going to make them a better team. And there's reasons to believe that. I mean, it is the Sacramento Summer League, but man, Keegan Murray looked great in that brief period. And they look at him and they see a potential franchise player. I mean, they believe he's as good as anyone they have on their roster, including De'Aaron Fox, including Domantas Sabonis. They believe he's that next star for their team. So if he takes a jump, that makes, an already really good team better next year. And
superstar potential is what Chris Max is saying. Some folks in the Kings organization seeing Keegan Murray as good, if not better, than Domantas Sabonis, De'Aaron Fox. When he came into the draft, and I said earlier, it was the first time you and I met and spoke, was at the draft last year. The line on Keegan Murray was not the highest ceiling, but a really high floor. You're safe in taking a Keegan Murray. He doesn't have the potential of a Jaden Ivey or a Shaedon Sharpe or some of these other guys that we heard about coming into the draft, but he's a safe pick. This blows that out of the water if this is true.
And and I will say this, for the organization to have that faith in a young Keegan Murray, that's great. That's great. My thing is, don't give him the tag. You know what I'm saying? Don't put the pressure on the kid. If you feel that he's going to be all that, that's great. I mean, because I think his ceiling is very high also. I think he has a lot more in his game than what we've seen. And can he be an all-star? If he keeps playing the way he's playing and keep elevating, yes, he can. no doubt. But don't put the tag on him. Let him be who he's going to be on the floor by himself.
Let it happen naturally.
Exactly.
And that's somebody in the Kings organization saying that to Chris Mannix. You know what I mean? So they very easily could have just kept that to themselves.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
There's nothing wrong with having the belief. I believe it.
Yeah.
I do. I believe it.
Do you see that?
But I'm not going to walk by Keegan Murray and say, yo, bro, you're going to be an all-star this year. No.
Do you see superstar in Keegan Murray, like number one option type of potential in that dude?
I think he has talent. He has a lot of talent. And it's a lot of people that come to this league that has talent. It's all about how you cultivate that talent. Every year, you got to get better. Every year, you got to bring something different to your game. If you're just a good player, but you don't get better each year, you stay stagnant, and people know what you do. You have to bring something new to the game every single year.
What's the number one thing you would tell Keegan Murray he needs to add to? I know the emphasis this offseason, and Mike Brown talked about it during the season, was creating his own shot. Put the ball on the floor a little bit, show some handles, and create your own shot, because he relied a lot on the catch and shoot and
a lot
and the open threes that Domas and Fox created for him. Mike Brown and Luke Laux, I should say, they want him to work on that ability to create his own shot. Is that the number one box to check off and things to improve in Keegan Murray's game?
The number one thing on Keegan Murray's game is to play your game. Don't get pigeonholed as just a catch and shoot guy. If you can put the ball on the floor, get to the rim, and then again, you're 6'10". When you get to the rim, show us you can get to the rim.
Yeah.
Dunk that basketball. You do not be tentative. You go hard and show guys that they're going to have to stop you instead of you stopping yourself.
I remember Mike Brown on the show formerly known as Cattles and Ramie, and he said he tells Keegan Murray he wants to see him disrespect some folks out there on the court. And he meant that both in not always deferring to your veteran teammates, but also go and dunk on a joker, man. Like you're saying, Henry, go and dunk on a joker if you get the ball around the rim.
Hey,
you're 6'10", 220 or whatever it is.
Hey, even Mike Brown is saying, if you're going to be an alpha, you got to have some dog in you. You have to have it. And if you don't have it, you can't consider yourself an alpha. Keegan Murray is going to have to show some sort of nasty.
Yep. That's the top spot. That's how we do it. Reset some of the big topics discussed on today's show.
Nasty.
5 o'clock every day right here on this very show. Right after this, Keegan, the MVP of the entire Summer League, much less the Kings last year. Is there room on the roster for the guy who looks like this year's Kings Summer League MVP? We'll discuss that next.
Sactown Sports is your source for the 49ers.
Oh, it was awful. It was awful.
Did that leave a bitter taste in your mouth?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Me and Kyle had a long meeting the other day. We watched tape. We talked about it. We put it behind us. And just going through the tape and just look how sluggish and like how bad it looked on tape. Like I said, just reflecting on last offseason, it kind of played a big role in that. I never put nothing like that back on tape again.
Tune into Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for the latest 49ers offseason developments.
Are you ready for an incredible pre-owned blowout at Elk Grove Kia? Elk Grove Kia has got you covered with over 300 used cars, SUVs, vans, and trucks available. Every single one of our vehicles has gone through an extensive 150-point inspection, so you can buy with complete confidence. We stand by our cars and offer a bring-it-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, simply return it. Worried about your credit? Don't be. At Elk Grove Kia, we have 100 years of combined experience in helping our customers get the best financing options available. Charge-offs, repossessions, foreclosures, bankruptcies, no problem. Our team specializes in finding solutions for every credit situation. But before you even step foot in our dealership, let us show you what we can do for you. Give us a call or visit our website, and our dedicated team will work with you to find the perfect vehicle and the best financing options. Elk Grove Kia is your destination for incredible pre-owned deals. Visit us today at Elk Grove Kia or check us out online at elkgrovekia.com.
Turn your highway into a smile way. Elk Grove Kia.
Attention home services contractors who want to grow their business with more leads while leveraging their marketing costs to receive over 10 times the value in advertising. Subcontractors United is offering 40 home services contractors from architects to landscapers to participate in our advertising co-op. For less than $2,100 per month, you'll share in over $83,000 a month in advertising. That's $1 million a year in advertising for under $2,100 a month. And because there's only 3 subcontractors per category, not 3,000, your lead potential is unlimited. Generate more leads than you ever thought possible. Be one of only 3 subcontractors in a category and receive $1 million a year in advertising by leveraging the power of a united group. That's subcontractorsunited.com or Google Subcontractors United for more information. But hurry, categories are filling up.
Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Sactown Sports.
I know this is Bob Marley. I mixed up Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin earlier. This is Bob Marley right here.
No, this is the Whalers.
Bob Marley and the Whalers. My apologies to the Whalers. I should give them their due respect.
That's
Coming
right.
up at 5:30 is the callback. We'll hear from our buddy Jason Ross of the Jason Ross Show featuring Carmichael Dave. That'll be coming up at 5:30. But, Henry, we talked a little bit about the Summer League earlier and some of your takeaways from it. The guy who's done the most to impress in this Summer League and I think has been the leading scorer in both of their games so far out there in Las Vegas has been Jordan Ford and the local kid. Everybody, you said your son played high school ball
Right.
with. You've known Jordan Ford
Very
almost
well.
his whole life. And I think most people around here are rooting for him. You know what I mean? And I've seen and heard a few people say, hey, man, maybe this guy maybe earning a roster spot with what he's doing out there in the Summer League. And I think a lot of guys on a lot of teams doing what he's doing would get a look from the team that they're playing for.
Yes.
But I was sitting last night and watching that game and contemplating whether or not there is even a roster spot for Jordan Ford. So I started jotting down the Kings roster. And quite frankly, you tell me if I'm wrong, Henry, I don't know that I see a spot for him on here because as weird as it is to say, on July 12th, the Kings roster is pretty much set.
Yes.
When you look at it, I'll run through it real quick. You got Domas, Fox, Keegan, HB, Herter. That's your starting 5.
Right.
Then your bench is Monk, Davion, Duarte, Lyles, Vezenkov. And then you got a bunch of like bubble and two-way guys like a Colby Jones. Alex Len is probably guaranteed a roster spot.
He's there.
So he's locked in. Kessler Edwards, Keon Ellis. We've talked a lot about Nemi and his potential to make this roster and help out. You got Jalen Slauson. And then I think after all those guys, you got Jordan Ford. I counted that's 16 guys who probably are higher in the pecking order than Jordan Ford right now. And 6 of those are guards. I just don't see a path to Jordan Ford being on the Kings roster this fall.
It's real tough because, like you said, they're guard heavy. All right. The roster is tough. I think the only way for Jordan to be on this roster is that the Sacramento Kings would have to make a drastic decision on Kessler Edwards. And at the end of the day, Mike Brown thinks highly of Kessler. He played a lot last year, played meaningful minutes, and he brought something to the team that they really needed was an outside defender, a big guy who was long and lean.
Defender,
Yes, a wing defender who could defend those big LeBron James, Kevin Durant type players, and the Kings needed that. So, he really filled the void. So I don't see them, getting rid of a guy that filled the void to bring in another point guard. And Jordan Ford is exactly what he is. He's a point guard. He's not a 2. He's a point.
I mean, he's what, 6'2"?
If that.
Yeah. So I don't see the path there. But the bright side about this, and they mentioned this a little bit last night on the broadcast, which is that these guys, while yes, they all would like to earn a spot on the team that they're playing for, this is also a display, a showcase. There are scouts and GMs and front office people from all 30 teams sitting in those gyms and in those arenas, and somebody else might have a need or a roster spot for a Jordan Ford, even if the Kings don't.
Here's the deal. Jordan Ford showed the Sacramento Kings he can play by, scoring 25 points. But I tell you what, the Chicago Bulls are sitting there watching Jordan Ford saying, this captain just gave us 25 points easily. We might need to take a look at him. Jordan Ford is basically a TJ McConnell clone. a guy that isn't the biggest, isn't the tallest, but he has a very high basketball IQ. He knows how to play the game. He doesn't get outside of what he does well. He can run a basketball team. He could be a guy that can come in and give you 8, 10, 12 minutes on an NBA roster, but it's got to be a team that needs a guy to just come in and run and facilitate.
Yeah, it's a very specific role that he can play for an actual NBA roster, and that role is probably not open or available when you look at what the Kings have to work with at this point.
It's one of those situations to where you have to fall into a category to where they're short on guards, and they just need somebody. They're going to have their main guard, their number one starting point guard. You're going to have to be able to come in and just be a facilitator, and you're going to have a bunch of guys around you that can score.
That's to me, though, while not good for Jordan Ford, as when I had this realization last night as I was watching the game and jotting down the roster, that this thing is pretty much set with the exception of maybe 1 or 2 spots way at the very end, like 13 through 15. That's a really good sign for the Kings and tells you how far they've come and what they've built here.
Yeah, that's a very good sign. I will say this, though. We talk about Jordan Ford. If Chris Paul wasn't with Golden State would be a perfect place.
They would have a need for a guy like
Jordan
that.
for Jordan Ford.
Yeah.
Because you got Steph, all right? Jordan, all you have to do is come in and facilitate. You're going to get up and down, and you're going to pass the ball. Would be a great place for him. Understanding Steph's going to carry the major load, you're going to be another Quinn Cook, just like that.
Yeah, and he's shown he can shoot it, so he can come in and give him some of that scoring and some of that shooting off the bench that you know Golden State is always looking for shooters.
Right.
So, that would have been a good fit. But like you said, they got Chris Paul now, and their guard room is pretty full.
Right. You have to go to a team that's not guard heavy.
Mm-hmm. Can I just say something real quick?
You can say anything. This is your show.
I mentioned the broadcast on that summer league game, and I don't think this is the announcer's fault. This feels like a producer problem. These broadcasts are terrible, man, because they're not even talking about the game most of the time. They're interviewing people, and the game is just happening. It's like a sports talk radio show is just happening courtside at a basketball game. And hey, I work in sports talk radio, but if I'm interested in sports talk, but when I turn on a game, I want to watch and hear a game. Damn it!
It's going to be tough because half the time the broadcasters don't know half of these guys.
Man, Isaiah Thomas the other night, he has not watched the Kings. That's
yes.
That's all I'll say about that.
They don't know half of the guys. So it's kind of hard to give, a good analysis. I tell you what, that's where G-Man has to be the greatest in the game.
Mm-hmm.
He knows each and every last player, where they've been, how long they've played, what college they've been to.
Talent.
I mean, for him to come that prepared for non-NBA players is something special.
And you can catch the G-Man in every Kings game right here on Sactown Sports. You also catch Jason Ross weekday mornings right here on Sactown Sports. He's in Las Vegas for the Summer League. He joined us with some of his observations. We'll hear some of those observations in the callback coming up next.
It's Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
How do you feel about go to the game with a glove guy to catch foul balls?
Oh, gosh. No, absolutely not.
No?
If you're still in grade school, it's okay. But guy who brings glove to field, it gives energy. It's just not a move. It's just not something in my opinion, a grown adult should do.
It's Whitey and Watkins from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Sactown Sports.
The Gold Rush Classic takes place July 13th and 14th in Rancho Murrieta. Come join the fun and play golf with a celebrity, or just check out the concert. The Gold Rush Classic, where the stars and guitars shine. For more info, go to goldrushclassic.org.
We're going abroad for the first time in years, to Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
During a Flex Alert, let's do the dishes after 9.
What about the laundry?
It can wait until tonight, or even the morning.
The AC?
It's at 78. Let's cool the house in the morning.
All right, so we're just chilling until 9.
Pretty much. And we can help avoid a power outage.
Putting off chores for later and hanging out with my best friend. I love Flex.
Maybe you should just unplug the appliances downstairs.
Good idea. Better acoustics in the basement.
California, the power is ours with Flex Alerts. Flex Alerts, the power is ours.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and I recognize, just like my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, that your time is important. And that's why shopping for a new air conditioner is now easier with American Energy Heat and Air's online quoting tool. All you have to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote right now. It'll help you determine what system you're going to need to get. It'll provide the best pricing options, all from the comfort of your home without having to have somebody come to your home. You know how annoying that is? They come in and everybody there is so sweet and nice, but how much better is it to be able to get it on demand? Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your needs are, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
At Wells Fargo, if you accidentally overdraw your account, we give you an extra day grace period to avoid the overdraft fee. What if everything came with an extra day?
Sunday night and I have the Sunday scaries.
Honey, don't be scared. Every weekend comes with an extra day now.
All right. TGI Sunday.
It helps to have an extra day. When it comes to overdrafts, you can with Wells Fargo.
Visit wellsfargo.com/getextra to learn more. Terms and conditions apply. Subject to timing requirements and the bank's funds availability policy. Wells Fargo Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines. I'm Simone with your Sactown Sports headlines. Summer League continues to smolder in Las Vegas. However, Sacramento Kings stumble again, falling to the Chicago Bulls 107-99 last night. Despite the L, Sacramento native point guard Jordan Ford put on a show, racking up 25 points and 8 assists Tuesday. The Summer League Kings are back in action tomorrow. The critically acclaimed HBO docuseries Hard Knocks is heading to the Big Apple this summer, as the NFL has selected the New York Jets as the subject for the upcoming season. The new look Green Gang will report to training camp on July 19th, with cameras up starting day one. And after 9 straight losses to the American League, the National League finally back in the win column last night for the 93rd Midsummer Classic.
The National League's finally back on top. Its first All-Star game win since 2012.
I'm Simone, now back to Sactown Sports.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sactown Sports.
That's who we are. That's what we do. One of the guys who's part of our Kings coverage, Henry Turner, the high flyer, and the co-host chair today, crushing it, killing it.
Getting hyphy.
Having a great time with HT this afternoon, as he is the host of Game Night. Another guy who's part of our Kings coverage. You hear him weekday mornings on the Jason Ross Show featuring Carmichael Dave. Jason Ross, he is out in Las Vegas for the Summer League, so we thought we'd check in with our buddy, and it's time now for the call back. And we asked Jason Ross about the guy that everybody was out there in Vegas to see, including the giant eyeball on the sphere, and that's Victor Wembanyama, and Jason Ross's impression of him.
I think so. I mean, obviously you want to see him against elevated competition, but he did that even when he was playing, overseas and playing some exhibition games against, U.S. teams. And I think it's just going to be a matter of time, Henry. Just, rookie year, more comfortable, more reps. There's going to be a lot asked of him, but I think it's because he can do a lot. Defensively, he is already going to have an impact, obviously. And then I was impressed with his ball handling. Like, he's a really skilled ball handler. And then just as he gets more comfortable with his body, his frame, getting grown man strength, I mean, I think he has every chance, if he stays healthy, to really dominate this league.
That's what Jason thinks about the little bit we've seen of Wemby so far. Henry, I haven't heard. What do you think about what we've seen of Wemby so far? Is he worth all the hype from what you've seen?
Right now, I've only seen one good game from him, and that was that last game. You know, I'm not putting too much on him. I look at him as a guy that, what could he be? He could definitely be a monster for the size that he has and the skill that he has. But I want to know, you know, what type of motor does he has? What type of basketball IQ does he has? Just because you're 7'4" and you can shoot a jump shot don't mean that you're going to come into this league and take over. We've seen that with Porzingis. Porzingis came in with the exact same hype, and I'm definitely not high on him because you can guard him with a little guard.
Right.
Now, if Webby can take advantage of the 7'4" to where when you put a smaller guy on him, he can punish him down low. And then when you do put a big on him, he can use that ball handling and get by him and blow past. That's what's going to make him special.
It is crazy watching a guy 7'3.5", and that's the official measurement we've now gotten on. We've had varying reports on how tall the young man is. 7'3.5" is the official measurement, Henry. It's crazy to watch a dude that size handle the ball the way that he does, and hit a step back three. You know what I mean? You don't see that.
He's a 7-foot guard,
right?
You know, and really can do a lot of things that we haven't seen a big man be able to do, and that's fine.
Right.
That's fine. You could do that, but you have to be able to make that 7'3" be an asset to you. If you can't take someone down low and punish them, well, they just put a guard on you and just play you as a guard.
Meanwhile, Wemby obviously has impressed some folks in the summer league. One guy who has not impressed so much that Kings fans were hoping to take a big step this summer is Kessler Edwards. We asked Jason Ross about him.
Yeah, I'll be candid on that one, Ramie. I've honestly been a little disappointed, and that doesn't mean that's an end-all, like he's done, shouldn't be on the roster. But, you know, he's a guy that played in some meaningful games, in some meaningful moments in the regular season, had to go in and guard Devin Booker, and did a good job of that. So, I mean, you realize what he has potential to do, but he's a third-year guy now, and I expected him to shine more. He doesn't have to dominate, but I feel like he's been more of just a fit-in guy. And when you're here as an experienced NBA player, I honestly was expecting more. Now, I think he plays better clearly with Sabonis, Fox, Herter, the whole group, but I honestly was expecting a little bit more from him.
I know we talked earlier, and you said you had similar sentiment when it comes to Kessler Edwards and his performance so far in the summer league. How much do you think we're talking about the roster and what spots are open and who's maybe on the bubble? How much do you think this factors into when they report for training camp? And what is it, like a month and a half that they'll be reporting for NBA training camps in terms of his role, their view, their opinion of Kessler Edwards and what he can do for this squad?
It's going to be a lot because
he has one more, maybe two more summer league games left to bounce back from whatever he's done in the first two. At the end of the day, he got here because of his athletic ability, his size, his length, and him being able to defend. You know, he has that. That's not even a question. The question for him was he going to work hard enough in the offseason on his game to be more smooth, to be more prolific on the offensive side? And that's where he's struggling mightily in summer league. You know, he's still playing defense, still getting steals, still doing what he does defensively. Offensively, looks like he's taking a step back. He really looks like a person out there who doesn't fit. And in your third year, you're supposed to be a lot more polished out there on the floor than what he is. You know, it might have been Jay. Somebody made the point yesterday, Jay, maybe you can refresh my memory, that in the regular season, he was asked to just be like a guy who filled in the cracks, filled in the gaps for this team. You know, you need a wing defender. He can go out there and defend a wing. You need a three here and there. He can go out and hit a three here and there. But when you ask him to be a major role player on a summer league roster, that maybe he's not fit for that. Do you think there's maybe something to that?
Well, his job when he first came to the Sacramento Kings, I'm not going to say it's easy, but in the NBA scheme of things, it's the easiest for you to do. You come in and you play hard defense. Remember, it don't take talent to do that. That's hard. You know, when the ball finally swings around to you after De'Aaron Fox drives, after Domas gets double teamed, Harrison Barnes probes, he kicks it out to you. You're standing in the corner wide open. You take the 3-point shot. That's what he had to do. Now, on this summer league team, they're asking him to do a lot more. And right now, he doesn't look comfortable with trying to fill that void.
Yeah, some guys are you know, they have a cap, they have a ceiling, and,
right.
and maybe playing a bigger role and being counted on to the extent that a summer league roster would count on a Kessler Edwards is a little bit too much for him. And finally, we asked Jason Ross, who's live at the summer league and joined us earlier in the show, about the two rookies, Colby Jones and Jalen Slauson. What's he seen from them?
More impressed with Colby, and I think, you know, they show that contract-wise, and, you know, he's that first guy to be a second-round pick that gets a 4-year contract, something guaranteed. I think they feel like he to me looks like a guy that can attack the game, but also let the game come to him, and I really feel like he would be the guy that would, if he's asked on injuries in the regular season, to play, you know, more meaningful minutes, starter minutes, bench minutes. I think he's ready to do that. His position versatility looks strong. As far as Jalen Slauson, it's just a couple of California Classic games and a couple of games in Vegas. I haven't seen the same kind of thing from him, but look, we're still talking about guys just getting started. They've got him on a two-way. I picture him more in Stockton, but some guys need more time too, and I think he deserves that.
Not a lot of guys come in as rookies and play a big role for their team, and especially not guys taken in the second round. Jason seems pretty confident. He says it seems like the Kings are pretty confident that this guy can come in and contribute right away.
You know, he has a nice sized body. He's very athletic. He gets to the rim. He can score. He doesn't just elect like a lot of NBA players do, is to catch and shoot that 3-point shot. He likes driving down into the teeth, getting into the middle, and creating contact with his body.
Yeah, and what about Jalen Slauson block last night that they said was not a block? They called a foul out, and I don't know how they didn't overturn it. He got up, man. He swatted that thing halfway up the glass.
Yeah, he gets off the ground. But once again, a young talent. Probably will see a lot of time down in the G League. Nowadays, it's quite different than once before because, you know, you get these two-way players. You got the G League. You draft guys on potential. You don't draft guys on if they're good enough now. Mm-hmm. You know, if you have potential, they're going to give you a year, maybe 2 years down in the G League to really hone your skills and get better.
And that's the G League has really, and a lot of these little ancillary leagues. What's the league that the Thompson twins came from? Jay, you were telling me about that on
Overtime Elite.
The Overtime Elite. I don't know about you, Henry. I really love all these different avenues that young players have to get to the pros now, and it's not strictly you have to go through the NCAA.
I love it like that too, and it also saves a lot of guys from having to go overseas and play. If you can still stay in the United States, make the type of money that you need to make, hone your skills, and stay here, you don't have to go overseas or abroad to try to make a living.
That was the callback. Jason Ross joining us on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Check out all of Jason's coverage from the Summer League at SactownSports.com. And, of course, catch him weekday mornings alongside Carmichael Dave right here on Sactown Sports. Right after this, a lot of people throw out the I was hacked excuse when they do stupid stuff on the internet. This is the worst I was hacked excuse, and it's coming up next.
The Kings are running it back.
He's got the bucket at the buzzer. Harrison Barnes. Alex Lim just went above the iron with a two-hand throwdown. And that was as nasty as we've seen him in a Kings uniform.
And welcoming some new faces.
Oh, and here comes Vezenkov. He gets the big finish. Fisher rejected by Mr. Vezenkov.
Keep it locked on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for the latest Kings news.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Byers Enterprises.
I'm Mark Finan in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Skies will stay clear tonight. A Delta breeze will help to cool us down to the low 60s by morning. Tomorrow will be sunny and hotter than today with a high near 100. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Wildfires can easily engulf vulnerable homes. Safeguard yours with the Byers Fire Protection Package. Our one-piece seamless leaf guard gutters, roof shingles, vent covers, and more will help prevent disasters when wildfires hit. Learn more about fire hardening your home at thatsbyers.com.
Sammy Hagar in the circle. Friday, July 14th, the Lake Tahoe Outdoor Arena at Harvey's. The party you don't want to miss. Sammy Hagar. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com and 8concerts.com. Don't miss Sammy Hagar in the Circle.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopier.com.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters, right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with zero down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
Zero down with approved credit.
Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Sactown Sports.
That's the station. Ramie Makhlouf with you, as I am every afternoon. The high flyer, Henry Turner, in the co-host chair this afternoon. Final segment, Jay on the other side of the glass. On those ones and twos, it'll be Kenny Thomas in the co-host chair tomorrow, back-to-back. Former King sitting in the co-host chair alongside me. Looking forward to that. This has been a lot of fun, though, today.
Oh, Henry. Yeah,
I've enjoyed this.
Oh, no doubt.
Kadarius Toney, former Chiefs, or actually former Giants, now Chiefs wide receiver. He's a brash, outspoken young man, I think is one way that you could describe a Kadarius Toney, right?
You know what? Today's social media is just killing these young athletes, man.
Well, he went to Instagram Live and talked about getting traded by the New York Giants and whatever role he might have played in that.
Many New York fans mad at me, like I really give a like I don't hold a record over there. Like y'all championship ain't older than my niece and nephew put together. But that's on y'all and y'all GM. I don't really give a shit. Buddy traded me. I just went my move and made something out of it. Now I got this ring. Now he's mad at me. I can't get mad because it ain't no blue ring. It's a red one with a K and a C on that bitch. And I love them folks.
Talking his talk on Instagram Live. And he's got a point when he says, Buddy traded me. What do you want me to do about it? But a lot of personal shots. And my niece and nephew aren't older than your Super Bowl rings. He took a lot of shots there at the Giants and Giants Nation in that video.
Hey, all I have to say is tell him why you mad, son. Just tell him why you mad.
Well, it didn't stop there because, Henry, you know how social media works.
Oh, Lord,
you talk some talk like that, and the fan base is going to come for you. So, of course, his timeline was filled with Giants fans throwing hate his way, and he started, fighting back at these Giants fans, including commenting on women's appearance in response to some of the tweets that were sent to him. One dude, he got in the DMs somehow, and Kadarius Toney started coming at him with voice memos telling him drop your address and let's settle this.
Oh, come on, man.
Stuff like this. But then this is the craziest part of the story, Henry. Chiefs wide receiver Kadarius Toney is claiming he was hacked after someone who sounded like him and using his Twitter account sent a profane message to a Giants fan via a voice note. Look, man, the I was hacked is something it's a go-to for people who do stupid stuff on social media, right? But that's when you type out a tweet, Henry. Somebody could hack you and that's your face. That's your voice. How are you going to come out and say you were hacked?
Wasn't me.
It's clearly you.
Wasn't me.
And then he wrote, he says, I miss Daniel Jones, and says, my apologies, I got hacked.
Wasn't me.
What he had to say. You can't, man. You can't pull that one on us. We're not falling for it. I'm sorry.
Wasn't me.
One more thing. I might have time for a couple more things before we get out of here that I want to touch on. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers today announced, Henry, I don't know if you saw this, but they are bringing back the old creamsicle uniforms. You remember their uniforms from the 80s? Thank you. Thank you very much.
Y'all don't like them?
Jay, you're a fan?
Man, put me in one of them joints, man.
You know what, Rob?
Yeah.
That's like eating a mustard and onion sandwich. Ooh. These are bad taste in your mouth.
Jay, I told you before.
I like the creamsicles, man.
I told you before about stuff like this, and I call it.
Wait. You like the creamsicles?
Yeah, I do.
So you
ice
think,
cream too.
Wait. So you think the Kings should bring back those creamsicles they had?
Oh no, you keep that.
Wait,
Exactly.
the Kings had creamsicle.
I will say this though,
those gold unis they had.
Yeah, I'll say this: there are a lot of Kings uniforms I'm not fans of anyway.
Okay,
like I like the royal blues, man. I'm really a royal blue cat.
I'm with you on that.
The all blacks, I did the all blacks.
First team all black.
Yep, that part. There's a bunch of variations of the Kings jerseys. I'm like,
hey, you know what? I tell you what,
I'm not with it.
Those the gray unis last year.
Yep, you liked them?
With it.
Okay.
First team, I am with it. The Sac City editions.
Yep,
I'm with that.
Okay.
I love the gray.
Okay.
I did like those too.
Yeah.
I like those too. The ones that they've shown for this year with the script, the cursive King script across the front, they're bringing that back.
Yeah.
I like those. And then I've liked a couple of the alternatives that they've had. I like the ones that it's a little homage to the beam. It's got a purple stripe going up the side of the shorts and into the shirt. I kind of like that.
Oh, they're gonna ride this beam thing.
Yeah,
come on.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, they're gonna ride this.
That beam ain't going nowhere.
No.
You know what?
Soon.
I tell you what. I think Mo Brazelton was the guy that came up with the beam. That was a great gimmick. I mean, that brought more notoriety to this team than almost in the team's record. Everybody was screaming, like the beam.
Yep. I thought they should have lit it for the Cali Classic games.
Yeah, they should have.
They won out
Man,
there.
I'll be lighting that beam once a month just to test it.
If you knew how much it cost to light that beam, you were like, hold on, wait till the regular season, fellas.
Let me tell you something, HT. One thing we definitely don't do is we don't count nobody else's pockets.
That's what I'm
So
saying.
look, hey, you like to be, it's on your pocketbook, like to be. It ain't on mine, like it.
Hey, he act like he flicking a big light.
I talked about this. They brought it up when I was doing the crosstalk with Whitey and Watkins. The comments by Kevin Herter earlier this offseason where he said, like, maybe they don't light the beam anymore. Like, you got to move on, or you need a new tradition. I've heard people say it's gimmicky. Henry, I'm of the opinion, keep on lighting that beam for eternity, for all of time. Whenever the Kings win, go ahead and light that beam.
Let me tell you something, man. That's something that's going to ride for a while, because I'm telling you, it galvanized Sacramento Kings fans. We haven't had much to hold on to. So when that light the beam came, man, almost everybody in Sacramento knew what light the beam was.
Yep.
Even people that wasn't even Kings fans, they knew what light the beam was.
My mom was like, man, what's this light the beam stuff?
I tell you what,
ain't watching no games.
Hey, I was down in I was down in Texas.
Yep.
Bro, I was in Texas and I had my Kings hat on. I'm walking through the airport and I heard somebody
light
scream,
the beam.
Light the beam.
I got that 100 times throughout the season.
I'm in Texas and I heard it.
Yep.
I started getting texts from my friends back in Chicago and Milwaukee and Minneapolis, light the beam when they'd win. A buddy of mine and a different buddy of mine who's a bartender at my spot back in Milwaukee where I used to live, he said that on nights the Bucks weren't playing, they were a Kings bar. And they asked me to send them video because I can see the beam from my balcony.
Right.
They asked me to send them video of the beam going up, of the beam being lit, so when the Kings win, they can put that up on the TV screen at my old bar in Milwaukee. That's pretty dope.
Hey, let me tell you, like I say, shout out to Mo, man, to come up with that concept, and it definitely took off like a rocket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I say keep lighting them. And some people are like, you need a new gimmick, this and
No.
that.
No.
I always bring up, you guys see the hat on my head right now, lifelong Cubs fan. Over 100 years, they've been raising the W flag over Wrigley Field after they win a game.
Singing it.
And singing that
7 in a
song.
stretch.
So everybody in the neighborhood knows.
It's just their thing.
Yeah.
It's their thing.
It's a tradition.
And like the beam, it's going to be a Kings thing.
But one thing that going back to those Tampa Bay uniforms, they should let those die. They should let those. They should let those creamsicle uniforms.
Y'all ain't got that flavor in you. I see y'all ain't got creamsicle in y'all. I see it.
Where is the Undertaker? Let that die, bro.
Die, man.
Take you to the mortuary.
Jay, this is one of those things that I told you. I call this the Expos effect because nobody wanted Expos baseball when it was being played up in Montreal, and then they went away, and people get nostalgic. They remember the old uniform and Pedro Martinez and Vlad Guerrero, and they're like, oh, we need to bring back the. No, we don't. Nobody wanted the Expos then, and Montreal doesn't want the Expos now. We get nostalgic for stuff when we didn't even want it while it was around. And these creamsicle uniforms are another example of that. They were a joke. They were a laughing stock when they were wearing them. People would say, those don't look like football uniforms.
That was different times.
You can't, they're hideous.
Look around right now. We're living in a time where you can put on anything and people think it's fashion.
Hold on, Jay.
Different times.
Jay, you don't see nobody wearing hammer pants.
Yeah, I do.
Come on,
yeah, I do.
You don't see nobody wearing hammer pants.
Man, folks is out here rocking Zubaz out here these days, man.
And I love Hammer. Hammer my dude. But you don't see nobody going,
I'm trying to hit that typewriter HT, man.
You know who's one dude who's definitely rocking the creamsicle, Jay? Our guy Kyle Ledbetter, who sometimes is sitting there.
he can't wait. Let me tell you.
That kid comes in.
Have you ever seen how Kyle gets down, HT?
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Kyle's a different dude.
He is.
Kyle's a different
He's
dude.
He's wearing them hammer joints, I'm telling you.
He is a different guy.
What's your favorite, real quick, we got a couple minutes left in the show, your favorite NFL helmet or jersey that they got rid of that you think they should bring back, a la what the Buccaneers are doing with these creamsicle jerseys? I like the Dion era 49ers jerseys.
The Reds
that had like the Reds, and it had like the number looked like it had a shadow on it. You know what I mean?
They actually brought those back to 75th anniversary joints.
Those are cool. Mm-hmm. I really like those. Those are near the top of my list of some of my favorite extinct NFL jerseys. You got anything, Jay?
I'm trying to think. I love the Chargers powder blue. They just kind of brought those back a little bit.
Okay.
The one that's popping in my mind, and I'm trying to remember if they brought those back, was the red Atlanta Falcons Michael Vick.
That's me right there.
Yeah, I was trying to remember if they brought those back, but that red Falcons,
it was hot.
Ooh, that thing was cold when Vick was playing.
You know, I'm surprised that I know they moved and it's different city and different franchise, but that the Titans have never busted out the old Oilers jerseys.
That's a cold
and helmets. You know what I mean? You remember those?
Too. Yeah,
those are real sweet.
That's right. Shout out to Earl Campbell.
Oh yeah, man.
Warren Moon.
I loved Warren Moon growing up as a kid.
Yeah, we might have to get Warren on the show.
Warren Moon's a savage.
Yeah.
I know we're in Niner country and bang bang Niner gang. I get it. The old Seahawks jerseys, like Steve Largent era Seahawks and jerseys and helmets. No, you can't get down with it.
Because I'm a shoe-in for head of the year.
I just love their logo. I like that. I like the Seattle logo.
Man, not that old electric lime green they rocking up there, man. That's terrible.
Really? Yes. Hey, the lime green with the blue, man. I rock that.
Terrible. Man, that might be worse than the creamsicles. That green joint.
A lot of people like the old Kelly. I think it's called Kelly Green Eagles jerseys. They've changed. Yeah. Their green is, and honestly, because I'm a dude, you know what I mean? You know, like you go to look at paint swatches and you're like, those are all white. I don't know.
To me, yeah. Eggshell, nude. Yeah, man, that's white, man.
I don't know if they slowly did it or if they did it and I just didn't notice, but the Eagles green has gotten darker over the years. It slipped right past me until I saw like the old one next to the new one. And I was like, oh yeah, they like the Randall Cunningham era Eagles. It was more like a pure, like distinct green than what they wear now. Yeah, that's Henry Turner. Man, this was fun. I enjoyed it. I appreciate you coming in this afternoon, man.
Hey, this has been great, man. I hope I have many more to come. I like doing this.
I would welcome that. Jason Ross joined us from the Summer League. If you missed that or anything on today's show, so many ways to get it. You go over to that handy-dandy, totally free Sactown Sports app, SactownSports.com. You can also always check us out at YouTube.com/SactownSports. Hit that like and that subscribe while you're there as well and help us grow this thing. For Henry Turner, for Jay, for Simone, I'm Ramie saying thanks for listening. We're back with Kenny Thomas tomorrow starting at 2.
Yeah. Now hurry, go on to the altar. I know you ain't a... Remember what I taught you. Keep your heart 3 stacks. Keep your heart. Hey,